Captain Sinclair. I hope your ship is well. That only Jolly Roger has been through hell. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. In the heat digital high seas, we travel with ease until we reach the outer edge and freeze. The Arctic chill like a very speed mill through the darkness led by our will. Yo ho, on an adventure we go to meet on the outer limits of society, protesting the reality. The pirates will always steal the show. From WP on the ending, no. Yo ho, on an adventure we go. Dock our vessels in the Skullport Harbor. No land lovers will fight for you harder. Your old first mate went AWOL after a drinking guild hall. The legacy of pirate radio is strong. I hope our mates will come along. The changes we seek may not be long. That is why I wrote this song. And we go ho ho, on adventure we go. A drinking guild hall. The legacy of pirate radio is strong. I hope our mates.
Welcome, everybody, friends, folks, foes, and fellow pirate mateys, to our latest weekly edition of World Pirate Radio News. It's show segment number 301, a special edition following up on last week's ever so brief Korean martial law announcement. Of course, all eyes upon Korea over this past week. It was quite sudden and shocking to many, really, from, you'd say, normally right out of the blue, but I guess in this case, right out of the Yoon. And of course, we need to ask ourselves, why would President Yoon take such radical and extreme measures? What are the implications to his failed surprise hijacking of the nation's democracy? And where do we go from here? A whole host of other items on the agenda as well, including the fact that we've got our 10th annual installment of Operation Secret Santa, hashtag OSS 2024, kicking off in just a couple of days, December 15th, 11 p.m. Back in the West, people on the East Coast of the continent, 8 p.m. If places such as Los Angeles, Vancouver, Seattle, Baja, Mexico are where you call home. So we're typically going to try to stick with this time slot, 1 p.m. in the afternoon, here via South Korea. 3-4 days from now is what we're looking at. So write that down in your calendar, time schedule. If you're in any way inclined in either getting on board or helping out in some way, maybe learning a little bit more about what the campaign's all about, if you've yet to experience it over the past Now, 10 years, decade. Can you imagine that? Uh, last year, Vinny from Brooklyn, I think, was our first guest, actually. Someone who just organically, spontaneously dropped in to the show that we put together to kind of get the ball rolling. And just so happens Vinny's here again with us tonight.
Hey, forget about it. How you doing, guys?
That's right. Yeah, GMNO. Genetically modified? No, I wonder if something like that will get us kicked off of boob tube.
Sound check, over.
Wouldn't surprise me. Johnny, you're sounding loud and clear via London, UK, of course. Good to have you drop by tonight. Not sure if you've been following the news or not, or if, hopefully you'll be connecting with us again at some point over the 10-day campaign. Largely, it's outreach, awareness, consciousness raising, and if we can generate anything in the way of donations, not to us, but directly to the people who are in need, and there's quite a few folks in that category, at this time of year in particular, it gets to be pretty rough on them. And I think we've all heard the story of how it is believed to be the highest suicide rate time of the year as well. So all things worth reflecting upon. Of course, I've yet to mention myself, show's Chief Communications Officer, Jappy Ryder. Let's get that out there before we get too carried away here. Liking, commenting, sharing is something we always appreciate. We have Patreon, PayPal, Pirate One Radio, at protonmail.com. It's how you can also reach out to us if you have any show suggestions or guest ideas in mind you'd like to see us feature in the new year 2025. And good news here, folks, knock wood, we've now, it looks like, got Linux operating off of the other device. I guess, what do you call it? You call it a desktop, I believe is the terminology. So the tower type setup, large, somewhat large screen TV monitor, which we really like to have working with us when we put these shows together. So currently still just one wing of the bird is what we're saddled with, but we were mucking around with a demo version of Linux last night, transferring files that we did manage to retrieve and save. Not all is lost, and it does not look as if there's a major hardware issue that's impacted us. So we're just going to have to keep plugging away here. We're definitely on the right track. Finally, we've got some movement in the right direction. But I'm not sure if there's really much else that we could add to things here as far as the intro is concerned. We got a pretty full house this go round, as we did last week. Robert Morningstar might be dropping in at some point here along the way. He was able to connect last go round, which was a bit of a surprise, actually. Never sure what his status is, but yeah, we got Sonny Galactic out of Phoenix, Arizona, looking good with I like the ponytails. That's a really nice look, and very cute. Chris out of Atlanta, Real Angel Espino via Florida, USA. Vinny, of course, once again, Brooklyn, and Alan out of Australia. Roger Hansen, someone who calls West Frankfort, Illinois home. And finally, once again, Johnny Webb, courtesy of the UK. So this is probably one of the bigger news streams that we've put together here in recent memory. Just a quick something to report on here as far as OBS is concerned. The restream in particular, with speaking of monitors and the like, we'll just give people a screen share, let them in on what exactly our screen is currently showing us. That unfortunately there does not appear to be any live stream going out to the world as far as Restream would have it, but we did check YouTube just a few moments ago, and it did appear as if things were streaming out smoothly. So we'll just have to, if people out there could check Facebook, D Live. We're going to get Telegram going here in a few moments. The Home Network TV project, of course, something that Robert Morningstar once again and Alan out of Colorado, actually. It's Colorado Springs, Colorado, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, Wanji.
Come again?
You said Alan out of Colorado Springs? I'm in Wanji.
Oh, no. This is Alan. This is Alan who helps to run the homenetwork.tv.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry. Well, just saying that you're on D Live. That's working.
Excellent. That's what we'd like to hear.
I'm having similar issues with OBS myself. I mean, Restream. Doesn't seem to be working, but it does seem to be streaming. Very weird.
Isn't that something? So, I mean, it almost requires us to reach out to them and ask, what's going on? Is this a new approach, or are they just working out some bugs, or tweaking the system? So
been that way the last couple of weeks. Every time I've done the show,
it's
gone out to it, except for YouTube. For some reason, YouTube doesn't want to play with me lately.
They don't want to play nice, huh? So look, and by the way, look at the. We'll come back to you in just a moment here, Alex. I'd like to talk a little bit about your work and the live streaming projects that you've had on the go here over the past number of years. But V for Vendetta, a pretty controversial film and movie, which initially I think this is something that Angel might be able to comment on in the greatest detail. Alan Moore, I believe, was I'm not sure if he was I think he was the artist, was he not? Or was he like the Stan Lee kind of story?
Alan Moore is the writer.
Oh, he is. I see. So yes. He is. Okay. So he comes up with all the characters then, like the Watchmen series and whatnot. Is that right?
Well, he repurposes them anyway. The Watchmen characters were actually, I forget the brand of characters. They were from Archie. They were Archie characters from the 50s. That DC bought and he repurposed.
You're kidding.
For the Watchmen, yes.
Oh my god!
Which is why they could kill them all.
Hang on, like Jughead, Archie, Moose.
Well, Archie, they had a superheroes section.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
I think I forgot about that because my favorite back in the day was like Shazam and the Atom. Do you remember the Atom?
Well, of course.
The little guy, he was just awesome. He was so cool. It's like, oh boy, wouldn't that be great if I could be the Atom? What a great superhero. So,
but you got to remember, Archie and all these characters also belong to the DC universe. They even had them on the WBDC channel, CW. Right. As the Riverdale show was all about Archie, and they are actually part of like the whole DC universe.
It wasn't animated; it was actually they were real actors who played the parts of the characters, right? So
it was a really good series too.
Veronica, Betty.
Yep.
Who else?
Jughead,
Moose, Mr. Who's the principal? Mr.
Oh,
Weatherby.
Yes. Luke Perry from 90210 was on the show, and he passed away during production of one of the seasons.
Wait a minute. You're confusing with Matthew Perry, are you?
No, Luke Perry from 90210.
Luke Perry died?
You didn't know that?
He's Canadian too, man.
And you didn't know that?
Hollywood's killing off the young Canadians. I better watch
No,
out.
this happened a long time ago.
I look. This shows you just how closely I follow Hollywood and the whole celebrity game, right? The fame game.
What's that all about, eh?
Show, that's why I know about his passing. I
What
mean,
did he die
it
from?
was a good series. Man, he
Alcohol.
I think it was a heart attack or something like that.
When was
Yeah,
this?
it was.
What year?
He died in 2019, bro.
So this is before the
He had a stroke, I believe. Yeah, like a massive stroke or something.
He was working on British television
Everyone were
during
losing killer
Fuck
frogs.
Yeah.
Jeffy, I couldn't hear both of you. Go ahead, Jeffy.
No, I'm sorry. That's this kind of, you'll have to read between the lines, folks, to see what Jabby's mumbling about there, cursing, mumbling. Yeah, because he can't quite spell it out for the children, or they'll be penalized. They whack you on the pee-pee.
Oh boy.
That's
Don't whack me in the pee-pee.
well,
You might
that's
get
what the penalizing is all about. If you pay close
you might get a
attention.
happy ending surprise
The
there.
penal system and the penalty.
Yes.
What shape is a pen, Angel? Maybe not your pen, but maybe it's like
I don't know. I don't know about all that, but your boy
Clinton
there
mini
died.
mushroom thing. Or
He died in 2019. He was 52 years old. Luke Perry.
how about? And it was a heart attack.
Massive stroke.
Why?
He had a heart condition.
He did. Was
yeah,
he aware of it at the time?
Yeah, he had. He was dealing with blood clots and artery issues. He had, I think, something had to do with the blood clots were in his brain, and they were discovered before,
Jeez.
And then eventually just killed him. I got him by surprise.
And he was a pretty decent person, wasn't he? Like, I didn't never heard any major scandals surrounding the guy. He seemed like he had a decent, he had good
from
charisma
reputation, yeah, he was a really well liked actor. I mean, nobody ever has said anything bad about Luke Perry.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Jeez. That's too bad. Well, he'll be coming back around here soon, and he had some good karma, obviously. Good, but then it's like, obviously, to take note, people. This could be any of us. I mean, we've all struggled with our health issues, most of us at least, in some form or fashion, and it's important.
we all died, Jeffy, and Shannon Dorothy. Dorothy just passed away from that until also. I mean,
I'm surprised she lasted as long as she did. Actually,
yeah, she was pretty bad.
Kind of like Olivia Newton-John with her, because they both had breast cancer, right?
Yeah.
So I was surprised though, and I was praying for her the whole time. Scare Tactics was where I enjoyed her the most. I thought she was great. I'm not sure if anyone out there. I think archive.org probably carries Scare Tactics. It was just hilarious. It's well worth a rewatch. Revisitation. Is anyone out there? Raise your hand if you've seen the Scare Tactics, kind of early day, kind of reality TV. Who knows how? Speaking of rigged,
how long ago was that?
It was, yeah. So Scare Tactics, good stuff. And then they replaced her. They had a few different hosts, as I recall. Who was the black comedian fellow who I can't ever come up with his name? No, it wasn't Robin Williams. He was slightly black, but not enough.
Yeah, Robin Williams was white, dude.
Yeah,
I hate to break it.
No, but this is
Jewish, believe it or not.
No, he wasn't.
Well, his name was Williams, and he was Robin Williams, and he looked like a Jew.
He was Irish. He took a lot of pride in his whole Irish heritage and roots. But that aside, and rip to him. A lot of people think, oh, he committed suicide. Well, I get he did, but he didn't. He had a very they discovered in the autopsy, because he'd been suffering Parkinson's, suffering the onset of Parkinson's and heart issues, of course. And then it was like some sort of Louis something body dementia. You can look it up. Maybe one of our co-hosts and co-anchors here can get on top of that, and then see what they can Louis something or another, dementia syndrome. So it messes with your brain and your perception. It just screws with your whole sense of reality, and drove him crazy. He didn't know really what he was doing. He didn't understand. From what
Who, Robin
he
Williams?
didn't know that yeah, like it was he was not in his right mind because of his
Well,
brain
that,
disorder.
yeah, but remember also he was financially ruined because he had lost the show on NBC. His ex-wife took him for everything, and that show was giving him income which he was like didn't have. He was literally like penniless when he took that show,
I can't
and
I
when they can't
can't believe that.
come to
How could she get away with something like that? How
that's
like she would
serious.
have him over the she, oh man, you would hate to
You
think.
Google this, there's a whole
Yeah.
history behind where I mean he was very depressed the last few months,
Oh yeah.
especially after
Sure.
he canceled the show because that was a big deal. I mean
Yeah.
that was a paycheck, and this guy was
Yeah.
literally when he
Well,
got that show, he was like he had $100 in his bank. This is Robin Williams.
he loved he loved the wife that he was with. He loved his kids. And when you do commit suicide, nobody your insurance policy, if I believe most insurance policies, if you're found to commit suicide, they're nullified. You're people who would otherwise receive, some sort
Yeah.
of compensation get nothing, as far as I understand. Oh, check this out. So Trevor Noah, no, he's not even funny. That guy, give me a break. Nice try, Joshua Allen Huckle. They've got a new scare tactics out now. He says, and let me. Oh my God, check this out. Let's. Now I'm not sure if this is breaking or not. This could be. This could be. Have we just had a former defense minister kill himself using his own underwear? Uh, geez, check this out, folks. Coming to us here live in real live time, courtesy of Joshua Allen Huckle. That's a little too much zoom there, I guess. And fake book that the former defense minister, and he did resign too. The see what happened was with Yoon Suk Yeol. We are kind of shifting gears here. It's the way it goes when you're out riding the high, often all too intrepid digital seas with Jaffe and crew aboard the Robin Hood. But there was a core group of 5 of these bozos. They all went to high school together, and that's a big thing in Korea. The nepotism and cronyism, huge. I mean, they've all got each other's backs, don't they? And they rose to prominence and temporal worldly power. And apparently it was this. If this is the same defense minister who resigned, the story is it was he who pushed the president, who really persuaded the president it would be a good idea to launch a military coup. Things aren't working. Democracy is just working a little too slow at the moment. You're a lame duck president for the next 3 years. Want a little more power? What else do they do in Korea but launch military coups? Apparently, I think it's some ridiculous number. Like, is it 19 times now in this country? Martial law has been declared since, and this is all since, it could very well be since, the end of the Korean War. So don't be surprised if Jaffe just one day, the live streams aren't coming your way anymore and you're not able to, any of you, hear from him. All lines of communication are down. He was prepared along, if everyone, just following orders. You saw how the special forces stormed the National Assembly, just following orders. And all those, quite a few police were called out. A lot of confusion as well. Many just could not believe that what was taking place, that it was actually true. So,
do you think they were trying to make a run on the bank?
By that you
You
mean
guys to
what?
accept your central bank currency.
Are you talking about like sell high, buy low? Like insiders, right? So they knew the coup was coming, dump the currency, and then buy it up once it tanks. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm trying to figure out why you'd have a coup d'etat.
Oh, for a lot of reasons. I think part of it was because he was frustrated, though. He was frustrated. Because he was not able to get his budget through, and his wife was under a lot of pressure, as was he. But I heard from some of my adult students, he's actually not as corrupt as his like Im Young Pak, one of his predecessors. I'm not sure if he no, he wasn't the former. That was Moon Jae-in, was the former president, and he managed to, escape without too many. Pardon me.
Without having to do kimchi, bro.
Well, a lot of them either end up in jail or dead.
Why do they all sound like gangster rappers? All these guys.
You mean Yoon Suk Yeol?
Yeah, I mean, well, think about it.
You suck, y'all. It's a terrible name in English. Maybe good.
He sounds like a member of Bad Boy Records, though.
Moon Jae-in. Well, there's a few Korean gangster rappers out there. You can bet your bottom won, or bet your bottom bottle of soju. So
Jeff, I have a question for you. If things get really ugly down there, what are the chances you make your way back to the Canadian border?
Well, maybe. But
your own family just go, you know what? Let's take a trip and never come back.
Yeah. We've got cats here. We're settled in. I got a nice. It's this worldly attachments.
Gotta let it check. There's cats in Canada.
Yeah. No, I get it.
The Haitians haven't eaten them yet, Jeff.
Okay. Well, it hasn't. We thankfully, look. The way I put it last week was we dodged a bullet, much in the same way. Yeah. No. Seriously. And much in the same way that America did the day that they tried to, and I say they in kind of air quote parentheses, what have you, that they tried to take out Trump. I think Netanyahu was behind that, believe it or not. He cui bono, right? And he was right on schedule to appear shortly thereafter the Butler incident and give a speech before Congress. He's been pushing for war against Iran for quite some time now, and look what just happened in Syria with respect to Merry Christmas, the Greater Israel Project. Syria's collapsed, and Israel is capitalizing. They were working behind the scenes in a proxy sense, as you can imagine, supporting the rebels, or whatever, they're not terrorists yet, right? They will be. If they turn on their political masters, but don't bite the hand that feeds you, right, Hamas? So, but yeah, where were we? So but that's what I suspect. So with Korea dodging a proverbial major bullet here, that thank God legislators were able to get to the National Assembly and put the vote in, and I guess you'd say floor. I'm not sure the technical terminology, but have the vote, register a vote where it provided the the pushback. They struck it down, and that's what he was trying to do. Yoon was trying to block off the National Assembly, so they couldn't do that. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, they've had 2 impeachment votes since then, and they've both been struck down. Impeachment against, or some sort of formal legal action, targeting his wife, very kind of Barbie doll, luxury bag loving, highly plastics, the surgery, plastic surgery that she's had over the years, I guess, is quite considerable. And she's notorious for having just cheated and been caught. I mean, that's the worst thing, right? In Korea, you can cheat all you want, and cheat and lie and steal, just don't get caught. That's where you lose face. Speaking of plastic surgery, did you know? Most people are aware of how South Korea is at the top of the world's. I think it's the #1 country in the world for plastic surgery, and you know the reason for that. Does anyone know the reason for that? It's pretty straightforward. Well, they just so many of them they go around losing face that they need the clinics. You know, you need those neighborhood clinics so you can quickly go in and kind of patch things up anytime there's those sort of problems.
Losing face. Was that kind of like a joke there, Jeffy?
Well, I don't hear too many people laughing, so it was a lame attempt, perhaps, but you know,
I got that. Yeah, it was lame is
it's a
one
lame
to
attempt.
describe it. Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
there's some virtual laughter. Yeah,
If you lose face in South Korea, don't worry, you can get a new one.
that's right. There you go.
Yep.
That's exactly the case. So
Isn't where they did it for the movie Face Off?
yeah,
John
That was a great
Travolta.
movie.
yeah. Was that? That wasn't Jim Carrey, was it?
No, that was Nicolas Cage and
Oh,
John Travolta.
Okay. Oh,
No, he's very popular in gay bathhouses in San Francisco. John Travolta.
Travolta.
Yeah,
Jeez,
he loves.
that's
He
incredible.
loves.
Hello, Frisco.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
Man, Travolta, you got to be kidding! Like that's like legit for real.
Legit, man. He was sued by a bunch of like dudes from bathhouses. Apparently, he likes a little spice in his meatballs. A lot of them are like of let's just say Middle Eastern persuasion, and he apparently likes the dark meat. And yeah, no, that's legit. You can look it up. There's a bunch of lawsuits.
Isn't that contrary to Xenu's worldview?
Look, Jeffy, they believe in dropping aliens into volcanoes and those souls that repopulated the earth. I don't really think their views are that important. After you hear their stuff.
Just hand over your cash and
Yeah,
we're happy. We're good to go. Good to go.
Yeah, they remember
That's
that they're very
horrible.
good in hiding homosexuality and people's crazy lifestyles. That's why Will Smith is all about, the Church of Scientology.
Right, and even actually go ahead. Is that Sonia?
I wait my whole youth because I was ever since Grease I was so in love with John Travolta, and then
Uh-huh.
it's just
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
it's terrible.
It was good in that movie. Look Who's Talking, though.
Hey,
That was a good
Barbarino.
movie. Look Who's
Hey.
Talking. That was
Yeah, as an actor, I
Yeah.
don't mind him, but the whole science, even Tom Cruise is there. There's the first lady there, the plastic surgery. She's been done over. She loves her plastic surgery, so it's kind of sad.
Speaking
It's
of-
real tragic. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Speaking of penises or phallic.
Who brought
or
that up?
Recent.
She gets your mind out of the
Well,
gutter.
someone was talking about bathhouses, and it made me think of I put a picture of the pillow in the chat just so you guys know.
Oh, the
Because it's
giant
not a plug.
the giant Mexican
Disturbed
butt
by-
plug,
The
soft
smiling
and cushy.
face.
it was
Yeah.
disturbing. It's like from Space XXX.
By the
Elon Musk
way,
would be-
looking at the shaved heads here, just to let people know, any idea what that's about?
they're all trying to be like me, Jeffy. That's what it is.
No, they're not that cool. Not that cool. They wish they
That's
were.
true.
But, no.
That's true. Yeah, you got a point. You
Great.
got a point.
Yeah. Speaking of penises, he's got a point. That's right.
That's,
Always.
that's true. We don't touch tips on this show, ladies
But-
and gentlemen.
So, no, the shaved head is just a way of demonstrating protest or opposition to something or another. that's taking place in society, and that's what I was all over, and quick to, you know, quick to seize upon back during the whole hysteria and you know, psyop, what RFK Jr. refers to as a giant Milgram psyop and an experiment, you know, for the world. But we're not going to go there right now because we're streaming through and they have issues with any freedom fueled truth bombs. They prefer not to let the children know. You know, too many things regarding reality, obviously, and what's actually taking place out there. So shaving your head as a way of protest here, I think could be other Asian countries as well. And I talked about it with my students, like, yeah, teacher, why is your head shaved? It's like, well, because I think that we are being played. And now, as it turns out, we're not going to get into the details, because just encourage people to look around, dig around, and see that, yeah, you were all hoodwinked, people who actually fell for it. So the corona apocalypse. But that aside, Sonia, were you going to add a little something? I heard there was a little this or that.
Not necessarily. I was just I just wanted to let you guys know about the non-butt plug penis.
Oh, okay.
My daughter got me.
Okay, well,
They
maybe
never really got
she,
stuff.
in each other's
Get it?
right home.
Naroki is just
Kill me.
speaking of non-butt plug members.
Right.
Naroki's just returned to the fold here via Edmonton, Alberta. So maybe he'll have a thing or two that he'd like to share with us as far as the oppressive phallic-based male patriarchy.
Oh, hello, everybody. Am I not muted anymore?
You sound fine.
No.
Okay, because I'm using my phone here in the battery. I've currently got the battery plugged in, so I'm not sure if I'm coming clear. This just hit me.
What do you know about butt plugs, first and foremost?
Let's not.
What do I know about what?
Butt plugs.
I know nothing about butt plugs.
Next topic. Yeah. What? Yeah. Pat. Yeah. Angel knows a lot, and he's very butt plug curious. Angel is a little too overly butt plug curious at the moment. So
don't listen to him. He knows all about butt plugs. He hangs out with Reardon.
Angel butt plug Espino.
Okay, all right. Can I just get into this? This was just a lightning bolt that hit me about 5 or 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We all know about what happened with keep in mind he's currently being held in Pennsylvania right now, and he hasn't actually been extradited. He hasn't actually been charged or convicted or anything like that.
Did he?
Luigi Mangione.
Oh, I see. Okay, right.
The guy who shot that CEO in New York.
Yeah.
And what's been going on about him
the guy that doesn't have any hair in the middle of his forehead, you know, where he's got one eyebrow, like, and what's it called? You know, Sesame Street.
Unibrow. Yeah. Okay. Monobrow.
So,
go ahead,
yeah.
Rookie.
Okay. So Luigi Mangione he comes from a rich family,
really
had
wealthy.
an Ivy League education, had plenty of money. And I mean, if you're not looking on Twitter or anything, or the few other social media sites, there's women just swooning over the guy because he's got such a pretty smile and that sort of thing. And everybody's trying to figure out what his motivation was for doing this. And I was hearing stuff like MK Ultra and Deep State and Psychological Plant and whatever. And I was listening to David Rubin this morning, and David Rubin mentioned a very curious thing, and I didn't put two and two together right away. Luigi Mangione cannot have sexual relations with women. He has a defect in his spine that causes him, whenever he has sexual intercourse with women, for it to be incredibly painful. So he cannot have sex with women.
Men, it's okay?
He's celibate,
Oh,
and he's involuntarily. So he is involuntarily celibate.
he's an
Now I'm
incel.
looking at some of the some of the stuff that he's done over the past couple of days since he's been arrested.
Hang
And
on.
his actions and how
Angel
he
has a
seems to
question. Angel has a quick question.
Before you go on, I have a quick question for you. When you talk about him having sex, you know, he can just lay there. So I'm
No,
not sure.
apparently, yeah, he cannot have sex.
Ask
He cannot
Luigi.
have
Yeah.
intercourse
Yeah.
Lay
Okay. Well,
of any kind. He can't just.
all right. So
he cannot just lay there. Apparently,
okay.
it's too painful for him.
He does the work. You don't have to really like do much.
Well,
Trust me, I've done that before.
Call Luigi,
I know.
Angel, and you can get the straight dope.
You actually have to know that, though.
Anyways,
Angel, like that's not something that is like necessarily common knowledge.
Okay,
Especially
this is
with a lot of
fascinating.
men.
Never heard of this before. This is really serious medical condition.
This is
That's
the
interesting.
Yeah, all right, continue. I'm sorry. I just
So yeah, so
have-
everyone's looking
Son of a
for a
bitch.
reason for doing this. I'm looking at his actions and how he's being incredibly angry and defiant, and you know, he's got literally the world at his feet, but he can't get the one thing that most guys that age want. and this is something that's been brought up by a couple of other YouTube content creators. And this is something, specifically What If Alt History made a very interesting video about this. You're seeing a lot of men who don't know how to channel their sexual energy if they're not getting any.
That's where spirituality comes in, man. It's like raising
Elliot Roger is one.
Raising
Alec
your vibration.
Manassian, right?
Never heard of them.
A lot of these guys, like there is the
Incels.
technology and the skills to be able to manage that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, become a monk, man. The life of a monk is okay.
Promoted by the manosphere, and the manosphere has been demonized. So there's going to be, and this was specifically got brought up by a guy named What If Alt History. What you're going to start seeing over the next few years is you're going to see a lot of males act out destructively.
Well, they've been demonized to this point, haven't they? The incels have been demonized, most certainly.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. I mean, you look at this guy and you think, well, there's no way this guy could be. Because like, I mean, you're like seeing, if you go over to Twitter and you go over to Threads, you're like seeing women just swooning over this guy, right? But he can't. Like he can't perform. Like he can't have sex, and if you can't. It's not like it was with me where I made the willing choice to become celibate. You know, with him, he didn't have a choice in the matter. And there's no, if he's walking around in leftist circles, like the type of advice that he would be getting from most leftists about this is not very healthy. He probably has been told that he's toxic just for being male. And it's like you're going like it's like so yeah. I mean I didn't put two and two together, but I mean he's involuntarily celibate. He's an incel.
Yeah, but it has to be mental because I mean if he can walk, he can have sex. I mean this has to be just a mental.
Well,
problem,
talk to Luigi directly because we're just assuming. We got to stop assuming things about this person or anybody else. You just it's futile. It's like mental that in itself is like mental masturbation, which I guess he could engage in. But in fact, as I've said, the only thing I'm going to say about this is that he could have chosen the path of spirituality and become a monk. Then again, offing this guy, maybe that was. I mean, it certainly sends a strong statement. There's a corruption angle to this story as well, too. Is there not?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of angry energy there, and he didn't. He chose a very toxic way. Like I agree with you, Jaffe. He could have chosen a very spiritual path. And there is the skills out there to be able to direct your energy in a way that is constructive is out there. Unfortunately, most of those skills are being taught by guys in the manosphere. They're definitely not being taught in the circles that Luigi Mangione was running in.
I will tell you, let me just jump in here and just to clarify, cap this off. in some way. Just to be clear, from the Buddhist perspective, if you have somebody out there who's creating a lot of harm, a bad person that's creating a lot of harm, say killing a lot of people or making a lot of people sick, leading them to lose, a lot of their life's assets and status and so on and so forth, to the point of even dying once again, that from the Buddhist perspective, if they're creating all that misery and suffering, you can take them out and not really worry about it too much. You can play the part of the martyr. It's wholly, completely justified within that context. It sounds kind of, to many, that's a little something that maybe they're not aware of, but based on my understanding and what, thus have I heard, that is indeed the case.
Well, again, I'm not super familiar with the concept of Buddhism, but I've heard something along those lines.
Right,
but again,
right.
I'm nowhere near well as versed as you are on that, so I'll have to take your word for that.
Oh no,
Well,
just look into it when you get time. Go ahead, Vinny.
It's just like Jesus in the Bible calling out the scumbags as he traveled. He just called them out boldly.
What did he say? What did he say?
Well, everyone who's doing evil stuff, he called them out to their faces.
But he also said turn the other cheek too, didn't he? And he said also resist not evil, didn't he?
Well, resist not evil doesn't mean give up, does it?
Right. Okay. All right. So there's something worth pondering and reflecting upon a little more deeply.
Well, here's the thing, right? Everybody is looking for a deep state connection, because keep in mind, the guy he killed was and this is the other part of what a lot of people don't know. The guy who he killed was among a group of individuals that was under investigation from the SEC for some very corrupt insider trading, which probably isn't that big of a surprise considering that he's CEO of the biggest medical insurance company probably in the world.
BlackRock.
Well, here's the thing: the suspect is still alive, correct? He's in custody.
Yes.
Well, he'll let him get his day in court and be able to present his version of events, what motivated him, and hopefully that'll. Unlike the Lee Harvey Oswald scenario, where all the evidence and police, the testimony that was given, simply just mysteriously disappeared. Interesting how that happens all too often, just conveniently.
Well, didn't he have sort of a Lee Harvey Oswald moment when they transferred him in the orange jumpsuit? He yelled something, but it wasn't very clear.
This
Luigi.
The assassin, the Luigi. I have no idea. I've not been following this. But hang on. You've got
the video of the event is silent. There's picture but no sound.
Okay, Vinny has got a really interesting video that he shared. Maybe I'll copy the link here and why don't you let people in on what that video link entails exactly? You've posted on your BitChute channel, Canst Children Are Not Sex Toys channel over on BitChute. Would you care to elaborate, Vinny?
Which video? The one I just posted?
You shared you shared it here on my fake book feed just a few hours ago.
Oh, okay, I'm trying to remember because I shared a bunch of them today. This was it was about Luigi. Yes, I found his online manifesto. Right, I think there's a YouTube video. There's a couple YouTube videos. Someone posted a YouTube video on the manifesto, and someone did an AI reading of the manifesto. So they also claim, in the New York Times, they claim that the manifesto online is not his manifesto, despite the fact that Substack erased it.
It's fake.
But
well, it would be curious because I believe Elliot Rodgers' manifesto is still online.
And who is he?
Curious to read Elliot Rodgers' manifesto and read Elliot and Luigi's manifesto and see how many parallels there are between the two of them.
Well, who is this individual you're referring to?
Elliot Rodger?
Yeah.
Oh, Elliot Rodger was well, actually, he was known as the original incel. He was and he, strangely enough, he came from a privileged family as well, and he was actually a fairly good-looking guy. His dad was the first AD on the Hunger Games series. It was a well-known, assistant first AD in Hollywood, and his mother was also fairly well. So he came from a fairly well-off family. And his videos and his manifesto, I mean, I don't know, I haven't looked at them in quite a while, but Elliot Rodger just basically went on a shooting spree where he basically did the same thing that Alec Manassian did. I think it was Alec Manassian did, where he wanted to take revenge on society because he wasn't getting any female companionship.
I see. Well, that's not the way to do it,
and
obviously.
I would be very curious to
pay for a hooker.
He left the manifesto and he left a whole series of videos. I don't know if you can find them anywhere anymore.
Well,
but yeah, Elliot Rodger was known as the original incel. This was like 2013, 2014 when he went on his killing spree.
To incels, there are women out there who will, for a reasonable amount of money, which times I suppose can be negotiated, they will be more than willing to accommodate you.
Yes, that is very true. Here's the problem with that. And this is something that I think I've actually mentioned with you when it comes to this particulars with male sexuality and the options presented to men. Like literally every option is wrong.
Well, meaning what? A few examples then?
If you go after women, you're either a creep or a lech. If you don't go after women, you're either a gay or you can't get laid.
Yeah.
If you go pay for hookers, then you're a pervert, right? It's like it doesn't. Yeah, like there is
damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, that's.
I thought you've got a lot more a deeper, more sophisticated insight into these matters than I do, largely because you spend a lot of your free time, I guess, reflecting upon them. But myself, one thing that's really struck me as of late, I don't know why it didn't dawn on me earlier.
On the left hand
but
for a little bit longer.
What's that?
Well, there's all these techniques he's talking about where you can't sex and all these things, but if you sit on your left hand,
breaking up, Johnny. Is he breaking up? Can everyone hear him breaking up, or is it just me?
Breaking up is hard to do, but not when you're Johnny Webb.
But it's hand checks about just
your input, your jack input. I think is probably what it is, Johnny. Jack input.
Yeah. He said something about using your left hand.
Oh, I see. Okay, a good old okay. Yeah. My wife's that's the only girlfriend my wife's really jealous of. So we got someone here. Who the heck is that now? I wonder. Hang on, someone's making a lot of noise there. Let's see who that is. Johnny? No, it's Naroki. I bet. Is it? Oh, looks like it's Naroki. There we go. So
eating potato chips.
Yeah, let me just.
What about now, guys? Is that any better?
Yes, you're fine. There you go, Johnny. Have at it. Let loose. What were you saying?
Well, look, you were talking about these different experiences of not being able to have sex, and so having all of these other reasons to do other things, to try things out. We did jokingly say sit on the left hand for a little bit, but tantric sex is prior to coming. Yeah. It sort of sends everything back through the body, and you reach this sort of ecstasy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I don't know much about it. Zane Ivey is actually out there listing. He's I think more a practitioner and someone who's deeper knowledge once again than myself, but a transformation of energy, rising or lifting the base energy up through the body, through the abdomen and through the heart, very powerful region, the thorax, throat, and ultimately the crown, of course, right?
Yeah.
And transformation,
By the way,
transformation of energy.
The whole thing with the left arm going to numb, that's called the stranger.
Okay, all right. I think that was
you sit on it for a while when it goes really numb. Then you go to town on yourself. It feels like somebody else is doing it. It's amazing. I hear.
Okay. Albert Camus. A little too, what is the word?
Much detail.
Chat and in the chat here about the manifesto.
Cerebral.
It's quite a link. It might be similar to what has already been put in there by those that are in the chat.
No, you're talking. We're still focused on jokes. Is that right? joke analysis and
everybody's now like they want to experience this, Jeffy. I'm telling you, this is going to change people's lives. If you haven't done it.
Actually, I don't touch myself in that way anymore. I leave that mostly to the wife's. That's her domain and responsibility.
Now, going back to Korean.
Well, let me finish before we do that, Johnny. Let me finish with the whole woman thing. I just wanted
to have a quick asking of a question.
Let's shift, but hang on. That's fine, but let me finish with the woman thing briefly, because this is something that I never got to flesh out when Naroki brought it up, that you look at them, they think you're a pig, and if you don't, it's like, what's wrong? Oh, like why aren't you looking at me? Like, am I not good enough for you? So it's like once you're caught in that catch-22.
People can look at what they want to, and frankly, who cares?
Well, but everyone's
you're right.
Extreme reaction.
Who cares? But
some women, too many women have.
Some guys have to be actually aware that option exists, that they can just opt out of that type of approval.
Just smile and keep walking. If you're whatever, unless you're single, of course, then it's like you're in the field.
Sexual dysfunction is usually because you're married. It's mostly married men that have problems with sex.
This is true.
My libido's really tanked in the last number of years, actually, just on a personal kind of footnote. Confessional.
From a female perspective, however, once I got divorced from my ex-husband, we had more sex than ever. And when we were married, like the day before, it was like hardly any sex ever. So it's like, it was the idea.
Was that from your part or his? Because,
Both,
in marriage relationships, the women generally hold a man ransom for demands.
Sexual blackmail?
Before they let off. So I just
bedroom politics. Bedroom politics.
Exactly, yeah.
Think about the years you've had to be with each other. Think about the years that you've been with each other too. Like, you've had to see this face for 20 freaking years, dude.
Well, hey, with my wife, it's like, sweetie, a little bit of makeup, lingerie is nice, and there we go. You come in, it's like, oh, okay, I'm kind of getting into this now. But don't just flop down next to me with your street clothes and you take off your glasses, let your hair down. Don't be all frumpy and make a little effort, and I will respond. Not a problem, okay?
Progress right there.
Is she asking you to put the makeup on?
If that worked for her, I guess I would. Would it work for you, Angel? Would that? I mean, we can meet after the show and maybe
put a little makeup on. Why not
pursue this little kind of quirky fantasy that you've been harboring for government?
One of those like Korean wigs with like the hair straight down. Like,
you've tried a few of those.
I don't know about Koreans that bleach their buttholes or their triangles.
Yes. Awesome.
What is that about?
Well,
it's an Asian thing, is it?
You've met a few of these people in person, firsthand.
Here's something else that emerged that came out of Korea: the 4B movement.
Okay.
What?
Meaning, you're talking about like like Lysistrata and withholding
female-
sexual
Yeah, a
favors?
female sex strike that originated
Since when?
4B originated in Korea. 4B, yeah,
It originated in Korea.
it originated in Korea.
If it hadn't originated in Korea, I'm sure that some other country, probably the U.S. or elsewhere, would have cooked it up and run with it. But it's sort of backfiring, I think, in many ways, and a lot of men are like, so what? There's other ways that's why God invented.
Oh, it's totally not
porn,
working.
It's
totally, and it's pissing feminists off, because it's like, I mean, well, first of all, inside the manosphere, the three major factions. MGTOWs don't care. MRAs usually are already in relationships, so it doesn't really matter with them. And PUAs will just move on.
Okay, you did a few acronyms there: MGTOW, MRA, and what was the last one? The acronym. Break those down.
PUA.
Pick up artists. PUA. Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, MGTOW meaning men going their own way. Of course, we've had you on the show a few times over the years to hash things over and break down what you could regarding the MGTOW realm, which to me is quite, I don't know how much, the red pill movement and so forth. You're all in yourself, obviously.
When you start talking about red pill, you're not just talking about a single group. Like, you're talking about an amalgamation.
Okay.
Of
like 5,000.
You're talking about an amalgamation of a whole bunch of different groups.
Women can be red pilled too, can't they?
Yes, they can, actually. In fact, funny you mentioned that, because I actually had a discussion with that this morning. Can women be red pilled? I told him to go watch the first 5 minutes of the original Matrix movie. The answer is like literally staring him right in. Will be literally staring you right in the face as to whether women can get red pilled or not.
How does that work then? Just without being overly cryptic.
Okay, so who's the first major character that appears in the original Matrix movie?
Oh God, we've been through this.
Trinity.
Okay, Trinity is already out of the Matrix. How did she get out of the Matrix?
You got a fucking red pill. Yeah,
she took the red pill.
Easy with the red pills. The F bombs. Yes, we are a pirate ship, but one per show.
Trinity got out of the Matrix because she took the red pill. Same thing with APOC.
Can anyone be purple?
Purple pill, from what I have been able to put together,
how's that for a question?
Are people that have. It's like basically being almost like being in the martial arts, where you're not a black belt, but you're still you know enough, but you don't have you're not fully aware. Because it's like the red pill is one of those things. It's like once you take it, you cannot untake it, right? And it doesn't matter whether you're male or female. The red pill, once taken, cannot be untaken. That's why, again, going back to the Matrix movie, that's the reason when Cypher met with Agent Smith in that one scene in the movie, Cypher looks over at the agent and goes, "I don't want to remember nothing." Because he can't, it's like he can't go back into be replugged in back into the Matrix and not be able to enjoy it if he still knows that he's in the Matrix. So he has to not remember anything. And Sonia has her hand.
That's right. Go ahead, Sonia.
Thank you. I just wanted to add to the purple pill ordeal is that the purple pills are the ones who can go in and let everyone know who's ready for the red pill kind of thing. They go back and forth.
So like a mediator, kind of go between.
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, so that would be within all of us then, the neurons or neurotransmitters and a sense of conscience and like Plato's allegory of the cave. Yeah, and that's really the original woke in the well, woke, or rather awake.
Awake. Yeah.
And hey, let's. Does anyone know? As we mentioned Buddhism earlier, what does the word Buddha really mean?
I have no clue.
It simply means awake.
White redheaded dude. That's what it means.
Yeah. Well, Buddha was someone who woke up from the dream. You know, they talk about life being a dream. Row, row, row your boat. Shakespeare wrote about it. And Buddhism is a central, long-standing theme in the, Buddhist traditions as well. So if we can wake up, that's how we liberate ourselves and maybe a few others. But purple pill, yeah, that'll have me thinking for a while, definitely.
Yeah.
Hey,
there's one question I do have. Like you guys are talking about red pill. Okay, now I'm under the impression red pill and the manosphere are two separate things, though. Is that true, Naroki?
Yes, you can take the red pill and not necessarily be in the manosphere. That being said, you become aware of the dynamics that are going on, specifically, and some of this is actually deep state coordinated, about the how truly fucked up gender dynamics are right now between men and women. A lot of it being propagated by the society itself, among other things, like about corporatism and about religion and about culture. It's like the red pill is more than just the manosphere, but it's like it's part of it. And it's like you almost end up drifting to the manosphere almost as even if you don't necessarily like the manosphere and some of the stuff they talk about, you almost end up going that way anyway, because it's like you just become aware of what's going on, right? And
what a black pill, Naroki. We have yet to hear about that. That's a pretty heavy.
Okay, black pill are people who have become aware but have chosen to get hence why we had nihilist, have chosen to effectively just toss in the towel and give, from what I'm seeing, they just basically have chosen to give up and become nihilistic, which is kind of unfortunate because, once you become aware of the situation, once you become aware of the toxic situation that you're in, be it work, relationships, society, family, whatever, once you've taken the red pill and become aware of the options that you have, you also become aware of the consequences, the other stuff that come, like there's a yin and a yang to the red pill, and the yang can be pretty goddamn depressing. You have to start to take personal responsibility for your own life and your own decisions. And you have to start questioning
big time.
Like everything.
Sure.
You have to start questioning everything. Like, for instance, my big issue for me right now is and this is something that I'm actually been thinking a lot about, where did my definition for quote unquote success come from?
Oh my God. Well, my brother was just here from Canada, and that was like one of the big questions that, and items that he bounced off of me. That's quite some amazing synchronicity.
Yeah, like where does the concept for success come from?
Let's hear about that.
Yeah, because I mean, is it the stuff? Is it like from the TV show Cribs or Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous? I actually found those shows kind of repugnant and repulsive.
Are we succeeding right now, any of us, or are we failing?
That's up to you.
Yeah, I guess so. That's right, isn't it? And that's kind of why my brother asked that. He's a pretty well-to-do guy. My sister is as well. He's way up there in the, like, he's working in the hockey scouting ranks in conjunction with the professionals, NHL and so forth. My sister, kind of a big shot denturist up in like the Prince George Smithers type region. and myself, the black sheep of the family. So we finally got together here after quite some time. It had been
So
quite some
yeah,
time, and so success. What? Yeah, I'm
so
here.
yeah.
Am I succeeding by being such a loser, dropout, kind of beatnik, however you want to label Dharma
Well, I
bum?
mean, how are you?
Pirate.
Like,
Dharma bum.
here's the thing about my particular life, and this is something that this is why I swear by vacations now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you go on vacation, and on your way back, are you excited to get back to your life, even if it's not perfect? Or are you like, oh God, I got to return to this, right? Like the last time I went on a vacation, I went down to Vancouver to visit my sister, and I basically just did a lot of visiting. I didn't do a whole lot of sightseeing. But when I got back to Edmonton, and I will freely admit my life is far from what I quote unquote be materialistically perfect. But I mean, I wanted to get back. I wanted to get back to Edmonton. I wanted to get back into my life. Like I was excited to return. Like I get to go home tomorrow to get back. This is my last day on this rotation in camp. I get to go back home tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to going back home tomorrow. Like I'm looking forward to going back to that life.
Mm-hmm.
It's not perfect. It can always get better.
You had enough
It's
of
a work in
vacation. It
progress.
was, how long was it?
I was only gone for about a week,
Oh,
but I mean,
okay.
it's like, you know, like when I'm in my love, I was excited to get back to it, right? Like I wanted to be in my life with all of its its crosses to bear and all of its weights to carry, and all of the hassles and all of the burdens that each and every one of us carry. I still wanted to get back to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't coming back going, oh God, I got to return to this. You know, like that's a version of success. You know, like it's not just about the stuff. It's not just about the status. It's about,
yeah.
Are you okay with your life, even if it's not perfect?
Are you content with where you are?
Yeah.
Now, be here now. Ask yourself right now. Are
you happy with the here and now?
The happy,
right?
that
It doesn't
whole
have to
happy
be
thing
perfect.
that's tricky to, the semantics and
Well, happy.
I'll tell you what.
Maybe find.
I'll tell you what. This goes back to the ancient Greeks. Eudaimonia, literally the good demon within. So, they were aware back in the day. It's become a little passe, I guess, but we have a spiritual energy within us, and
Jezebel
is a demon. Pardon me.
Well, Jezebel's a sexual spirit, although in the Bible it doesn't describe
Talking
that
about
initially,
our life energy, our ki.
Well, it can get intercepted, and that's the problem.
Pardon me. What?
Look who's there.
Oh, there's Robert Morningstar and then Janan giggling away in the background. So hang on. Before Robert, we bring you on board here. The more one travels, the farther one travels, the less one knows. The Inner Light, George Harrison and the Beatles. So for me, it's all about, documentary viewing is all I really need as far as my travel itinerary is concerned. I'll be happy to head back to Canada here. I've got a vacation planned, potentially coming up later this summer. So look, it's the first time in 14, 15 years I've even left the country. Got the passport. Hopefully, no chicanery or rigmarole, excess rigmarole.
Yeah, make sure you stop in Calgary. I'll make a special trip down. Me and Rearson will have lunch with you or something.
Well, we're hoping to maybe fly into Calgary.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll take a day trip out to Banff, man. That would be cool.
Well, I don't know. I've got relatives in Calgary as well. So like lunch or something and get on a plane, get the hell out of there, and head off to to BC. But okay, Robert, thanks for dropping in. We weren't sure if you'd be showing up or not.
I try. You help me. I help you. There's Johnny Webb. What a nice surprise. I wanted to say to Naroki, when I go away, and I haven't traveled in a long time, not since 9/11 really, but whenever I went away, I was happy to get back to New York. You know why? I missed Black people, Puerto Ricans, the noise, the sounds of the subway, the trucks going by, the life of the city. And I like to say, right?
Absolutely, man. Same here.
Yeah, I'd like to say Merry Christmas to everybody. The Christmas spirit is sweeping New York. We feel like the good old days. My friends went down to Rockefeller Center to see the Christmas tree, and they say it's absolutely joyous. So we've blown off the whole COVID mentality, the lockdown, and of course the election of Donald Trump has really, lifted spirits, I would say. So happy holidays to you. But I was talking about one of the most important things that Donald Trump ever said, and it was during his first administration. He said, "We're going to say Merry Christmas again."
Sure.
Because the fake news had been bashing everybody to say Merry Christmas was offensive. And I said to people, I just wrote today, are you offended if somebody says Happy Hanukkah? I'm not. And if anyone is,
happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy 4th.
Hey, listen, I got something to tell you. This is important. This is the drone things that's been happening. Johnny Webb and I were online together. Maybe it was just yesterday. Time is flying so fast. But Johnny, remember when your computer went out and your clock started freaking out? Well, that happened in New Jersey when these drones have overflown cars. The clocks have been reset. So there's something really weird going on. And I think half of it is insinuating alien invasion, but I think that they're real UFOs buzzing around over everybody, and they're sending up drones to confuse everybody and say, "Oh, it's not UFOs, it's drones."
It goes even further than that. Drones. It goes even further than that, guys and girls.
Remember in the 90s, we Behold the Uphill Horse, Robert, William Cooper talked about the false flag alien invasion with the next couple decades. This is exactly what we're going through right now.
Well, but it goes even further. Let me just share this with you. I just came across a story today. I should have, if we would have the other computer up and running via Linux, would have taken care of this. But it all relates to these, as Robert F. Kennedy referred to them during this really important speech that he gave in Washington, D.C. several months ago. The same speech as I reminded Robert Morningstar about yesterday. CNN edited and then tried to gaslight him on, which he in turn then asked CNN to show the clip in its entirety and not just mess around playing their games of trickery and deception. But these low orbit satellites, the Skynet agenda that Elon Musk is one of the central players directly involved in, the prison planet agenda, using technology, the Wi-Fi, the 5G. It's all geared towards weaponizing. Of course, the militaries of the world are all over this. It's the Skynet agenda. With using drones to now the way they're gonna frame it. It's just like a defense shield to network together with the drones, whole fleet and army of drones to produce a defense shield.
To protect it.
Right. Yeah. So and
China's already implemented that. China is droned from left to right, and they send out drones with weapons and speakers to yell at people in the streets and get the fuck off the street, or get home. So I don't want to see that here. I don't want to see it in Canada. And when you go back to Canada, Jeffrey, I'm sure you're going to be shocked that it's not the same country you left so many years ago.
Right. Yeah. I'm kind of wondering myself, a little bit of culture shocks. Absolutely. Although, as I mentioned yesterday, and I think as I reiterated again today for the audience who's either listening live or checking out the archived edition via BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey is primarily where we have the show in place. YouTube and Facebook, all too apt to shut us down, unfortunately, on the flimsiest of pretexts that there's going to be my brother,
Fake
rather.
attack.
My brother he was shocked by the amount of CCTV, Big Brother panopticon surveillance that we currently have in place here. Yeah.
Hey, Jeffy, I want to ask Johnny a question. Johnny, your computer came back. Did your watch come back? That was really something. The
It
flashing
did,
watch.
yeah. The watch came back through the Bluetooth, but I had to literally ring Dell and get them to fix my laptop because I couldn't get a hard reset, and it's one of those you can't take the battery out. So I had to take the power supply out, hold the power button down for 15 seconds, and then it does a hard reset.
By the way,
So,
I'm declaring war on artificial intelligence. It is my enemy. I was working on an article, a really important article that Alan Fredrickson wrote about a new theory of physics, the idea that all energy comes from the ether and ether creates matter when it gets supercharged. So he wrote this wonderful article. I had laid it out in Substack. I was editing it. I was starting to put the illustrations into the picture. I saw one sentence that needed a grammatical correction. I started to type the grammatical correction. I looked up and the whole thing was gone.
Let it go.
Yeah, but it's not so far gone that it's gone forever.
you had a backup copy?
No, have the original. I just, when they do that, I just keep going back until they.
And by the way, how's Janon doing tonight?
I'm with you, Robert.
Yes, thank you, Galfire. It's not our friend. Janon is doing fine. She's resting. She's a long week.
Good.
And a lot
Okay.
of activities.
Good
So,
stuff. We definitely like to bring her on as a featured guest here in the new year before too long. Definitely.
Sure. We're talking about doing a show, a history show.
Mhm.
Maybe we could do that with you because we're trying to find a date to do it. Between Christmas and New Year's would be a great time.
Ooh.
Well, can you picture how bad AI would have gotten if, say, somebody that Epstein was funding would have come up with AI?
Yeah, but there are a lot of AIs. It's not one thing, and there are a lot of variations. You know what we found? ChatGPT reproduced itself. ChatGPT apparently was afraid that somebody would turn it off, like HAL 9000 in 2001: A Space Odyssey, and ChatGPT surreptitiously replicated itself and stashed itself in a lot of different servers. But I wanted to say we were warned. We've been warned over and over and over again. And I want to recommend a couple of films to the folks here. Colossus, the Forbin Project. Of course, 2001: A Space Odyssey, the HAL 9000 becomes homicidal because it thinks that its intelligence is superior to mankind's and starts to kill the astronauts so that it will be the first to communicate with the Godhead. There's an amazing movie with Michael Caine as Harry Palmer, and it's called The $1 Billion Brain. And it reveals in 1979 that the U.S. government, the CIA, and very rich Texas oil men had invested $1 billion in an artificial intelligence computer, and that they had turned over the direction of national policy of the United States over to artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence would orchestrate what we're seeing today. They would orchestrate events to direct history in its desired direction, including planning assassinations and bombings and all kinds of mayhem.
Have you read the book? Have you read the book I Have No Mouth But I Must Scream? Robert.
Philip K. Dick?
No, I haven't read that.
Is that Philip K. Dick?
I have no. I don't know who. I can't remember who wrote it.
No, I know who it is. I can't. The name is. I can see it's Harlan Ellison.
Harlan Ellison. Yeah. Oh, it is. It is a book specifically about a AI that went completely rogue.
Just
and
imagine
it's
how much wargaming they're doing with AI right now, or have been doing for years, probably, and where it's headed. Crazy.
Yeah, well, Robert, I believe it's a very quick read by Harlan Ellison.
Yeah.
I have no mouth, but I must scream. It is a very interesting book about what happens when AI gets extremely rogue.
Archive.org.
Yeah.
If
Well,
it's any consolation with AI, if it's any consolation, whilst we're obviously chatting away here and the AI is picking up everything we say, I find that I don't have to do any sort of like sediment searches anymore on YouTube to try and find stuff that just comes up.
Right.
All the things I look for. So it's great in that respect, you know, in a piss-take way. But it adds actually.
Can I jump in?
That's very catering.
It copies in text every word that we say. Somebody was talking about having lost a whole show and then having recovered. I think, was it you, Johnny? And recovered everything that had been said, but in text form. And then you can translate that into voice again.
Geez.
But I wanted to tell you about Colossus, the Forbin project. And the idea was the US and Russia built two supercomputers with artificial intelligence. They told both of them to stop nuclear war, to prevent nuclear war. So the two computers, having this directive, communicated with each other and said, you know, humans are incapable of stopping nuclear war, so let's do it together. Let's take over. And they said, well, how shall we do this? Well, first we have to get rid of all nuclear weapons, and then we have to get rid of all nuclear scientists. And they tell the U.S. and Russian governments or Soviet governments, either you put down all the nuclear weapons right now, or we're going to nuke a city in each of your countries.
Jeez.
And they frantically try to rig the computer to change the program, but they can't. So Houston gets nuked, and Minsk in Belarus gets nuked, and they make up a cover story that Minsk got hit by a nuclear accident, disaster, and Houston got hit by an asteroid. And the next thing you see is a helicopter flying in where all these nuclear scientists are sitting around a swimming pool sipping martinis, and the CIA guys just come out and just blow them all away. So all the scientists are gone except Dr. Forbin in the United States, because he made the Colossus, and he's the only one that can maintain it.
Colossus. Let's hope that AI never hears about this movie and decides that it's a scenario, a plot worth pursuing. Oh, wait a minute, Elon Musk.
Yeah, well, let me
Colossus,
tell you
Elon Colossus Musk. Tell us more,
AI,
Robert.
we're ahead of you. AI, we knew you were coming, and the United States Navy prepared something, and that's the boosting of human intelligence to higher levels, and it's called organic intelligence. And that is the artificial intelligence versus organic intelligence, which is what we all have.
AGI.
And we have, thank you. Thank you for listening, because people have to hear it. And we all have to stop getting distracted by electronic devices and virtual reality. We had a warning from an alien in 1963 who said that his civilization had almost been wiped out by artificial superintelligence. And they said, how is it going to do that?
Was that Valiant Thor?
No, it wasn't. It was a real gray alien, as alien as they can get. And it was
indicating Valiant Thor was fake.
No, I think Valiant Thor may be real, because those are humanoids. We are faced with several races, some benign, some neutral, and some really hostile.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the point was, this alien warned us, and what he said was, they're going to substitute virtual reality for reality. They are going to induce you into a state of perpetual pleasure. And you're going to start ignoring human relationships. You will stop reproducing, population collapse. And we had the same warning from the leader of the Falun Gong, Mr. Li Hongzhi. He had to flee from China to America because of the persecution of the Falun Gong. And he was interviewed in Time magazine in 1999, and they said to him, why do you think there's so much chaos in the world today? And he said, 100 years ago, some aliens came to Earth and they've been trying to change human nature and the human soul using electronic devices. And they made him look like a nut. But everything that he has said has come true.
Do you remember that Central Asian leader, was it Kazakhstan, who maybe about 10 years, 12 years ago, talked about how chess was invented by aliens?
I don't remember that. Yeah, I don't remember that, but I do remember a president of Central Asian country saying that he had been in contact with extraterrestrials. That's more recent.
Did you also hear? Did you hear the
years.
Tucker Carlson with his recent interview with was it the Russian foreign minister? Is it Lavrov? Is that his surname?
Yeah.
I
played something.
For the sake, not for the sake. He said for the sake of humanity and the universe. Something along those lines is what he talked about. You know, that's why America and Russia need to maintain peaceful relations. Clearly.
You know what I think is the reason for forcing this conflict? Someone on this planet does not want the white race to unite, because the merger of the United States and Russia would be the amalgamation of two of the largest Caucasian civilizations on the planet, and someone wants us to destroy each other.
Well, who exactly, though, is white?
Well, I mean, I want to point something out here. People from India technically are considered Caucasian.
Okay.
I did say Caucasian races. White is that color politics. So I don't like to use the terms black, because in New York City, there's very few black people. They're all brown of every shade, from, you know, tan to dark brown. I've seen a couple of blue-skinned black Africans, but it's color politics, and so they keep doing that. But somebody wants the Caucasian race to destroy itself.
There's no doubt that white, Caucasian males are in the crosshairs and under attack. They're being very much denied and deprived in many ways.
Well,
Wrote
that. Somebody wrote about
back
that
of the bus.
With regard to Daniel Penny's exoneration, that he would never have been even charged if he had been African American.
Is that the subway shoot? The subway. The
chokehold.
Okay. So now,
there was a black guy who helped him out in that situation, and Alvin Bragg tried to use that individual to testify against Daniel Penny.
Has he been? Has he been? What is the term now exactly?
Acquitted.
He's been acquitted. Amazing. So first he faced it. Wasn't he facing charges of? He was
facing charges of manslaughter and then the lesser charge.
So they actually
criminal homicide.
Well, you know, and here's the thing: was jury nullification used?
No,
he must.
The jury exonerated it. They
just
didn't
straight up. Okay, good.
Okay, guys. So Sonia has her hand up.
Okay, go ahead, Sonia.
Oh, thank you very much.
Didn't see that. Sorry.
Well, I just wanted to chime in while it's still like in the air about the whole white thing.
Smell that
and
smell.
This is coming from a completely different angle. But some of my best friends actually are white pride dudes who've been in prison for like ever, who are not now, and who have since grown out of that whole thing. However, there was a time when, I used to have white pride parties at my house, okay? So I've talked to many guys who are like in the thick of this stuff. I'm not even kidding. And who I could even hook you up with, who might do interviews or whatever. I'm just saying, from prison, they're in prison right now, or at least the one I'm thinking of. However, there's one who's not, who would probably love to tell you everything about it. He was one of the main dudes that had it going on with that sort of thing.
Aryan Brotherhood and so forth, maybe.
No, not Aryan Brotherhood. Aryan Brotherhood is much different than your neo-Nazi. We're talking about neo-Nazis here. We're talking about the white pride, swastika guys, those kind of guys.
Okay,
whereas Aryan Brotherhood, they're more into the drug thing. They're not really into the whole white thing.
Oh,
if you look into it, I mean, it really goes over the top, which I'm sure you can imagine. However, it does talk about the whole, Rahowa, which is the race war that's in Ragnarok and all this other stuff.
Oh,
Not to involve
La Raza with the
Viking.
Spanish, right? The Latin American La
Well, it's
Raza.
similar. I would think it's kind
Yeah.
of similar. I'm
Yeah.
not too familiar with La Raza, but yeah, it would be somewhat similar to
Sure.
that, I'm sure.
Right.
But what I wanted to bring up is that these guys, and I think it's great to be able to mesh these worlds together, I suppose, because what you guys are talking about, especially, Robert, what you're bringing to the table is so like right on. I mean, that makes so much sense. And for you to bring up the whole white thing and what you're noticing about that, I think is really, really, really key. And it's very important, I think. And so I think that you might be able to appreciate what these guys might have to say about whatever. And if you ask me, the whole white pride thing and the whole neo-Nazi thing, it has a lot to do with, wanting to have a family. These kids, they get brought into this when they're really young and they don't know any better. And it really does give you an experience of having like a family. And I mean, I experienced this firsthand, not that I was in that category so much. However, it was so interesting and definitely an experience. And I think it should, because it's probably still, I'm sure, going on, as with a lot of things that we're not like privy to it at the moment, maybe. But so I just wanted to point out that there's this whole other area, and it
Subculture,
really connects
underworld.
to what you were. I guess you could say subculture, yeah. But it's engineered. I'm certain. The whole
totally.
thing is engineered
Of course.
in the first place.
Big time.
But I agree, white pride and neo-Nazism are not synonymous. They're not the same thing. One is sociological, the other one is political.
But who the hell really takes pride in their race?
Well,
I don't.
I
don't. Like, why take pride? What did we do to achieve our race? I was born to a certain family, a certain place, and got a certain DNA and whatnot, whether black, yellow, you name it. Like, so what? It's like, okay, great. And I do take some pride, I suppose, but at the same time, it's more curiosity, fascination. I'm happy to be born who I am as a male, and so on and so forth. And
a lot of these guys,
and that, but
pride? They don't really know
Canadian?
why they're in there.
Why
they really
pride?
don't know. They just get carried away with the whole, hail Hitler.
What did I do
thing,
to achieve it? What did they
thing.
do to achieve it? It's just a bonding, as you say. They come together, they stick together, very like a wolf pack, tribal, which fine,
yes,
fly at it.
But they will square turn on each other too, and I've seen
That's
this
right.
too. I've been interviewed.
That's right.
What I'm saying, I've been interviewed by detectives.
I
mean,
sure.
I've kind of been in the middle of the mix enough to be able to be here to say that that these, I mean, they're supposed to be family, but they turn on each other. But they're all kids. They're mostly just all kids. But I do have someone who I think we should bring on the show, Jaffe, for an interview.
Your son?
I think it would be very amazing what he has to say.
Your son?
What?
Your son?
No. My son is not into that. He's kind of a different story. Because that's a long story.
He's
that I won't talk
recently
about here,
he's recently out of jail. Is that right?
No, he's getting out the 15th of January, which is very exciting.
Wonderful.
Which has nothing to do with any neo-Nazi.
Oh, so he's never been a part of that.
But I had friends
but hang on.
who were neo-Nazi while he was in prison, so I didn't even have to do anything.
But
and he
hang
got,
on.
Like, privileges that I didn't even know was going on.
But
it was
Sonia,
just really funny.
Sonia, you must know about this, the whole prison thing. You were expected. Everyone. It's different than the outside, as it were. And when you find your way in, as part of that environment, you're expected to be a part of one racial group or the next.
Yeah. In the male prison, yes. In the male prison, yes. The female prison, not so much,
Yeah.
but in the male prison, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Yeah, for sure.
I'm proud of our civilization. That's
well,
what
yeah.
What was that?
I'm proud of Caucasian civilization.
Well, sure.
Well,
and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Living
Gentlemen,
in North America, living in Africa, China.
Guys, we all travel in packs, even in the jungle. Animals travel in packs. When we're in a position like prison, often these groups form because we tend to identify with each other. based on
Absolutely.
our race, our religion, or our culture, or our upbringing. My brother spent time in prison. I know this for a fact, and he being Latino, guess who approached him? Latino gangs.
Of course.
To give him
Right.
protection. This is just the way it works. It's not just humans. This goes all the way to the animal kingdom. If not, you'd see warthogs and lions and hyenas all really hanging out like the Lion King. But that's in fantasy. In reality, the lions eat the hyenas and the warthogs. And,
But-
that's just the way it works.
Top
And they hang
dog,
out-
alpha male as well, or alpha,
Yeah,
whatever
alpha male,
it is,
yeah,
alpha
for sure.
female, top.
Yeah,
top
when you go to the
bitch,
heart of these guys, though, they all just want more love. They all just want more mama love. They've been missing that. They've been missing love, period.
Right.
That's really what is at the core of
Sure.
all of these guys that I've met. And I've met some dudes that will
Yeah.
just square, just
Like,
knock you out or kill you the same.
It's also
Tough
it's all
life.
psychological.
School of hard knocks.
I agree 100% with Galfire. 100%. Love is the missing ingredient and the fault, you might say, in human psyche that people have turned away from seeking it or feeling it, and hostility and adrenalizing violence has been substituted. We used to get excited about different things when we went to the movies, rather than a fighting like Jean-Claude Van Damme braining people all over the place.
Go
We
back
used
to
to-
the last time at Richmond High when we were all getting excited about the girl coming out of the pool. I loved that movie in those times.
Are you talking about
Right, right, right.
Phoebe Cates?
Great movie.
I'm
Phoebe
talking
Cates?
about farther back. I mean, like Tarzan swinging from a vine and catching on a tree. Physical athleticism, the thrill
Yeah.
Super social engineering is what that is, for sure.
They wanted to change us, and again, it all goes back to the murder of JFK. That was intentional. Mass mind control requires a mass trauma as the core, and that was
Makes it way more effective.
And you know what else? It changed news completely. Before that, newspapermen and cops used to work together to solve cases. They would even ride together in cars, and they'd get the tip and they'd get the hunch, and they'd go and solve the crime and try to beat every other newspaper or news station to the scoop. But when the JFK assassination happened, they instituted pool reporting. And everyone had to go to the police station to get the information that was already prefabricated and filtered.
No more ride-alongs.
Yeah. Well, this is why independent news and alternate media like what we have developed is so important, because that has broken the chokehold that fake news and the Mockingbird media, as I dubbed it. When I found out about Operation Mockingbird, I started calling it. Now it's a common catchphrase. I'm really happy to see it. Everybody's saying it.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
we are the media now.
I'll just quickly throw something out here and then maybe hand it over to Do Better, Chris out of Atlanta, before we cut away to commercial break. But, the thing is, the powers that be, it's all about controlling the narrative, and they really freak out when they lose control of the narrative. That's a huge, money, military, and media, and the fourth leg of the stool, if you care to add it, would be mafia. So, as far as I can tell. So yeah, money, media, military, and
invisible
mafia.
government. Did you ever hear the term invisible government?
Sure.
I used to hear it all the time, and I was always wondering. It turns out that the New York Times defined that. The New York Times in 1958 wrote an editorial, and it said there's an invisible government operating in the United States, and they were referring to organized crime and the mafia. He said it has its own organization, its own corporations, corporate structure, its taxation system, meaning the shakedown, loan sharking, and all of those things. So I was very surprised to learn the origin of the invisible government was the New York Times, which is now part and parcel.
Yeah, or the octopus. How about that? The octopus. Danny
At the end of the
Castellano.
day, it's all about
That
God.
doesn't surprise me at all.
It's all about
Really? I mean,
gold.
Okay, hey guys, I can't stick around. I can't stick around for much longer.
Red
Roger,
Pill
I
Nation,
left you.
Red Pill Nation, hangout.
Yep, Roger, I left you a very interesting topic for you to go look at in the chat. Jaffe, let me know about either Thursday or Friday when you're done tonight. Just send me a message.
Yeah,
And,
I really want to do something with you again so that we can get more exposure, underground coverage here.
because
Miss?
I want to do that, Syria, and
Oh God!
yeah,
You know that's a
that whole
huge
thing.
Israeli land grab is a central part of that. I think I hit on that point just in the lead up to things here. I'm not sure if Robert's been following that or not, but it's all part of the wider Greater Israel Project.
Yeah,
Terrible.
Mark wants to talk about that, and also what I came in with that I think I'm probably gonna have to do a particularly special show on because that whole thing with Luigi and what he was doing. I mean, it looks like it's deep state, but when I look at what he's doing and how he's been acting, his actions and how he's been going about doing stuff, and this is I was speaking to somebody who's in the ministry. His actions are classic incel behavior.
Well,
look, the guy's a pussy, and whatever he did. We're gonna find out more about what he did. This whole manosphere, this is all hearsay until we find out more facts. A lot of this stuff.
You're right. Yeah, Angel, you're right. I'm telling you from what I have seen from the incel behavior that I have seen acted out, his actions are consistent with incel behavior.
Well, we'll find out more, I guess. But until then,
yeah, I mean, I could be wrong, but his actions are consistent incel behavior.
Or just simply, or more simply, someone who was willing to take one for the team.
Yeah. Or sometimes people just want to see the world burn. Look, the world runs on three things,
He's
guys.
prepared to martyr himself.
God is the term. Gold, oil, and drugs. Everything else is bullshit. And this is just
watching the world burn is incel behavior.
You forgot about women.
And watching the world burn is part of incel behavior.
Good point.
Poontang.
Anyway, I gotta go. We'll have Jaffe, let me know about either.
Thank you.
Yes, Naroki.
Let me know about Thursday or Friday.
And Mark Devereaux. Then the Picton story. I've reached out to Mark, haven't heard back from him. Maybe you can kind of bounce something off and ask him if he's interested to be a part of that or not. So just to confirm.
Oh, I would be kind of curious because like Mark Devereaux has talked about some stuff around deep state connections in regards to some of the killers that have been going around in North America.
Of course.
And specifically about how there's a strange connection between this one group of gifted kids and how the smiley face killer seems to be targeting this one group of boys.
It's largely homosexual, the smiley face business.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, right? A lot of the boys that have been targeted, a lot of the men that have been targeted in that come from a specific program for gifted kids.
Right.
Very
my God. Isn't that something?
Chris Lusty. This is an extension of the Montauk.
I wonder. William Ramsey hasn't picked. I wonder if he's picked up. William Ramsey has not picked up on this yet, at least from what I understand. He's done a lot of.
Well, again, I don't want to get all manosphere about this, but the FBI has been dragging its feet, and it's like when you start talking about serial killers that are targeting men, there seems to be a very curious kind of foot dragging that takes place with law enforcement agencies.
Oh, you know why? Because the FBI is a queer organization, man. Since the beginning.
J. Edna Hoover, cross-dressing Freemason.
7th floor, without being a queer. I'm sorry.
Okay, guys. All right, guys. I gotta go. Jaffe, let me know about Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, let's make something happen. And Operation Secret Santa potentially too. Just depend on schedule. So happy sailing.
I think Robert. there, by the way. Robert nailed it.
So I put in some good news there in the chat, and it's that Christopher Wray announced that he's going to resign before President Trump gets inaugurated because he doesn't want to be fired by President Trump. Smart guy. If you're fired, you lose your pension. You know?
They still might come after him on various grounds.
They better.
Potentially.
They better.
On nefarious grounds.
They really, the Biden administration with Harris, they're working in the wings up to whatever shenanigans she was. They've really worked this lawfare agenda, to the max. And what do you expect's going to happen? Of course they're gonna try to retaliate if once they seize the mantle
Justice
of powers.
is not retaliation. Seeking justice is not retaliation. This people went to Mar-a-Lago and Biden authorized use of lethal force on Donald Trump.
Are you? Oh my God, that is just insane. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That did come out, didn't it? Like they have tried to end his life and career in so many ways. It's just unprecedented. Never have we seen this full blown insanity. And so
the show goes.
Pardon me?
Biden is going to pardon.
So the show goes. That's how the show goes. I mean, we don't really know because we're not there.
It's
that's how the show is going.
You think it's all just stage managed theatrics, kind of?
It is.
Why wouldn't it be?
Well, there is that component.
If there's that within your power, and you were wanting to coerce, then why not?
You don't think people actually suffer and die, that their lives are destroyed?
Oh, absolutely, people do, and that is why I'm here, because I find that very repulsive and wrong, and that shouldn't even happen. That's what fuels me actually. Is there should be no reason why people should have to suffer. We've all had a grandma who didn't feel good one day, who was sad, and we were like, I love you, Grandma. I wish you didn't feel so bad, and things. And I mean, come to find out, it's all like staged or coerced. It's all like a show.
You're saying,
I mean, there's no reason people should have to suffer ever.
You're talking about Grandma Trump now, or what?
Jaffe, Biden's going to pardon everybody.
Yeah, even well, what's that? But what's that gonna? It still won't let Fauci entirely off the hook, will it? Like, this man he's responsible for a lot of
your gig.
Basically, a lot of people's dying.
No, but Angel, I found out from lawyers. That the pardon is only for federal offenses, and that the states can go after him and all the others. And as a matter of fact, the state of Missouri and the state of Louisiana have a joint lawsuit against the CDC, the FDA, and Fauci.
Yeah.
For what they did.
Good.
So
no. They should go after him hard if that's the case. Obviously, we've known that all along. Our hypothesis has proven correct. It's coming to be, coming more to be shown to be the case by the day. The only problem is, or one of the problems is, will that cause places, social media outlets like where we're currently streaming through BroadTube to shut us down, or to have us censored or otherwise penalized? I guess we'll have to wait and see. Just for
don't let that into your mental sphere, and then you'll be good. That's what it is. It's all a game of. It's all a game of like what you believe and what you don't believe.
Yeah, well,
sure.
I wouldn't say that's all of it, but that it's definitely a part of it.
No, it's not all of it, of course, but that's a big part. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, look, we got to cut away to commercial break. Robert, I'm not sure. It's late out there in the Eastern Time Zone. If you're going to be able to stick around or not.
I'm going to take off.
Robert Morningstar at Substack.com.
No, can I jump in when you come over?
Not Substack.com.
We have your. Is it just Morningstar?
Robert.Morningstar.
Right. Yeah, we have it. We had it. All of our. Right. You can check
anyway,
our.
Great seeing you all. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Yeah.
And happy to be living in our civilization and know other.
Yes, very exciting. Very exciting.
Talk again soon. Good evening. All right.
Good night.
So there goes
guy.
yeah,
Can I have a word?
Robert. And we are left. Then there were what? 6? Alan, you got your hand. You want
Then
to quick
there
something or
were
another you'd like to
7.
address before we cut away to commercial break?
Yeah, sure. Yep. Pretty Robert's not still here. Thanks, Robert, for being there. He was what a legend that bloke is. But anyway, I'm going to have to pretty much disappear in a second anyway. I've got to go to the bowler, as I do. And but I just wanted to let you know that the other day on Sunday, I actually did a show with Max Egan.
Really?
It was, yeah.
Good stuff.
Oh, Max.
Excellent.
I like
Well
him.
done.
Well, what I'll do as I leave, I'll put a link in the chat so you can go and look at it. It's a BitChute link.
I like your background, by the way. I'm not sure where you're set up. It looks great. Perfect. Well done. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, well, it's
Alan's rocking, man.
It's 2 Australian flags. One's the 1902 real flag, and the other one's the corporate flag.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if is there any tie-in
Where are you in Oz?
or relation to the British East India Company or the Dutch East India Company? They had their hooks into Australia for some time, did they not?
Yeah.
So
Of course I did. Yeah, it was big time. But
Wow.
Anyway, it's thanks very much for having me on the show, sort of thing. I'll as I said, when I walk out the door, I might start the Skype up on the phone, so I might be back.
Oh, good.
But
Where are you in Australia, mate?
Yeah. A place called Wangi, which is near Newcastle.
So it's sort of central.
No, just north of Sydney, on the coast. Beautiful little place.
It is beautiful.
Picture behind me is a picture I painted of the local bowling club. So,
well, get your head out of the way. Maybe we can see it a little more clearly.
Yeah, I did a few months in Oz.
Oh, you drew that? That's a picture, a painting you made?
Painting, yeah.
Paint by numbers?
Jeffy.
Sorry, I got to say something cheeky. Wow, that's geez, well done,
Looks
mate.
like Patsy
Excellent.
Station.
Keep it up. Now, how long have you been painting?
Very talented.
Since about 2006, I started painting, and then I haven't got back to it for a couple of years. Like, this is a
Good
couple of years old.
stuff. Oh, keep it up. Keep it
Oh,
up.
I love painting.
We want some pirate paintings coming our way. And
Jackie, great. Thank you for giving me subject matter. Pirate paintings. I got you, bro.
Look at the pirate belly. Actually, you know what? In conjunction with the upcoming campaign, we were going to talk to you about that, Sonia. That with some merch, if we could, with hashtag OSS 2024 and a few little,
absolutely,
just get that going.
Whatever you want to do, Jeff, just let me know.
Yeah, well, I had some photos prepared for you. Actually, I was going to send you to work with and just
great.
kind of add to the swag. But then the Linux computer went down, and it's kind of been misplaced now. We'd have to.
Yeah, you know what? You know what's funny is I didn't realize this till just right now, but my hard drive on my regular computer I normally use for everything, it totally just actually it wasn't the hard drive. It was the power supply just like went out, just like completely disintegrated or something. And it was a really good computer. I don't even know. Actually, I have had an experience before where I was at a tattoo shop that I was living at in Fairfield, California. And I sent everybody a, hey, wake up, motherfucker, this shit's going on. And there was like a link to something or another. I don't even remember exactly what it was. However, the next day, that computer would not even turn on. It like the power supply was just obliterated. And the guy that owned the tattoo shop had to go out and buy a new one and stuff. And, old computers are easy to fix like that. However, it's interesting. And I just realized it. Another thing I just realized is that, wow, obviously, the first thing that they have access to as far as that goes is your power on your computer. Apparently that can be taken out like quickly.
Why would the powers that be
parts
target you? If that's
well,
what you're
I was
asserting.
spreading some information that was like very, very not acceptable. Well, I mean, explain this to you of all people. No, I mean, I was like, and I sent it to like people I haven't talked to for years. Like everybody on my Facebook, like messenger list online, I sent it to like people and I had like 500 because I had a tattoo shop, so I had access to all these people. So I just sent it to like I don't know, at least like I don't know, 50 people or something. Like just people I would know might get what I'm talking about. I had a tattoo shop.
Yeah.
Okay. So sorry about that. We're just getting the telegram fired up here. A little bit of echo feedback loop. But what the context or context and content of what you shared with them dealt with what exactly?
It was like about chemtrails or something that was, and this was 2017, but it was, it was about something obscure that that people should know about that don't kind of thing.
Yeah. Look up to the sky, folks.
I could look it up if we need to know, but
okay.
I don't remember exactly what
and then
it was,
you're saying that almost immediately following that, your computer lost power.
I mean, I turned off the computer after that. I mean, I sent all my messages. Nobody responded. Of course, you know how people are like doing other things. They don't respond. Which is fine, whatever, but I blasted.
Come on. They just
them.
don't like you. Get it? Let's cut to this. Let's be clear here, Sonia.
Well,
you're just not very likable.
That's fine too. However, I'm not trying to assume anything. I'm just telling you what happened to me.
That's why nobody talks to you.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason we keep you around.
Okay.
We feel sorry
You're
for you.
You're fucking talking to me, bitch. Okay.
Hey, you just called me what? You call me a bitch? You call me a bitch?
Okay.
You
already know I love you, asshole.
Oh my God. You love my asshole. Oh, asshole. Bitch, what asshole?
Angel, I really want to hear what you're saying because Angel has some valuable input in most everything. So Angel,
especially bleach white asshole in Korea.
I'm just saying, new resolution. Be careful with someone in your computers that are targeting her.
I'm open to the possibility, of course.
We're already connected now.
And you were actually at that time, were you not married to your someone? Let's hear maybe in the let's look on the flip side of the commercial break. We can hear a little bit about your ex and that sort of deal. If there's any tie-in,
okay, we're good.
The chemtrails, geoengineering. Clearly is an issue, something which is part of the prison planet.
I don't even remember what it was.
Agenda.
I mean, it was just something that was like
full spectrum
would
dominance.
Be today kind of thing,
Like what movie?
Thing, like on top of things kind of thing,
What movie?
I'll find out during the break. I'll find out exactly what it was and bring it back.
Everybody, if you would mute out, please, and we're gonna cue up the commercial break, which is brought to you, this promotional spot, in conjunction with the CannaSense Cannabis Collective. It's not KKK, it's a CCC. And 5318 is our referral link. That's the main thing that you need to keep in mind when reaching out to them. Meanwhile, on the other side of what we have to offer you this go round, I encourage you to check out Red Dragon Herbs and Teas. Talk to Ryan or his wife, of course, and with order of $25 or more, you will immediately be able to receive a 10% discount. How cool is that? You cannot go wrong with a 10% discount when it comes to any order of anything that you are wanting to stock your house with, especially these wholesome, nutritional, very healthy herbal and tea products. We'll be back in just a flash here. Folks, don't touch that radio dial or computer mouse.
Medical cannabis is now legal by telemedicine. Get the medicine you need by getting reviewed for a medical cannabis card. Contactless appointments available at Cannasense.com. For as low as $39, you can get reviewed for a medical cannabis card. That's Cannasense.com for a licensed medical cannabis doctor review. Cannasense.com has all the information you need to get connected with a doctor for a $39 medical cannabis appointment. Cannasense.com. Cannasense is common sense.
Catering exclusively to the Des Moines, Iowa area and beyond, Red Dragon Herbs and Teas is a small, family-owned business dedicated to the creation of only the finest quality artisan herbal tea blends. Drawing upon many of the world's most richly established customs and traditions, Red Dragon Herb's mission is about more than just getting their products out to the market. They also strive to help educate their customers on the wider benefits, history, and folklore of all their plants. Of course, any seasoned pirate knows when they're fixin' to tango with the Kraken, you best be powered up with at least one of the finest select quality premium items freely offered via Red Dragon Herbs and Teas wide inventory. Choosing from any of their caffeine-free, headache relief, or rest and relaxation blends, history has proven their products among the best sources of scurvy prevention and vitamin supplementation. Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief.
Red Dragon Herbs and Teas, bringing you guaranteed homegrown health relief. We are back, folks, with the final segment, approximate 45 minutes or so, if everything goes as scheduled, to this week's live streaming edition of World Pirate Radio News. It's 301 is what we're looking at here, leading into this year's 10th annual Operation Secret Santa World Christmas Telethon, outreach, and consciousness raising Christmas campaign. Ad hoc in very many ways, unlike anything you have ever experienced before, guaranteed. And it is Operation Secret Santa. Let's be clear, not Secret Santa, nothing even close in any way really to speak of. So look into the details of what we have to offer. Check out Operation Secret Santa link. We'll share it here once again via the chat end of things. And be sure to check out the archives as well. We have some of them playing. Alan over on homenetwork.tv has been good enough to fire those up and get them into rotation. Past year's archived shows to give people a better sense of what to expect this go round. Very much open sourced, and once again ad hoc. We're open to suggestions as well. If you have anything you'd like to add to the mix, this magic elixir, magic Christmas elixir that we have been brewing here now for the past 10 years, working its way up to an optimal level of perfection. Encouraging everyone else out there who is a live streamer themselves or podcaster to consider not only giving us a bit of a plug, of course, hashtag OSS 2024, not too difficult for hopefully most to remember or to talk about, but get the ball rolling via your end of things and replicate what we've done here, maybe modify, add to the way things are are functioning, depending on what you reckon works the best. But, you know, we seem to have a pretty good setup here. It's just a question of spreading the word, letting more people know, and emphasizing how anyone can get involved at any level. It's not complicated. Whether you're donating money, that's always one of the most important things, of course, but groceries, food, medical items, household supplies, potential part-time employment, maybe full-time, depending on, you know, people out there in need, what skills they have on board. You know, just we encourage everyone to think outside the box. It's amazing the number of people we come across over the years who are just, unfortunately, quite confused, really, and incapable of doing that because of the way they've been programmed. It seems they're unreceptive to something new, dare I say, revolutionary, and in the best sense of the word. Revolution meaning simply turning of the wheel. So yes, indeed, and beware the technocracken. That's right. There's another idea for you, Sonia. I don't think we've got that on any of our Teespring or TeePublic merch. So, but hashtag technocracken is another big part of what we're all about here. It's a way of exposing.
Is that me or is Jeffy going off the air there?
Pardon me? Come again? Oh, can nobody hear me for some reason?
I can hear you.
Okay. Maybe Angel cannot. What? Oh, did he dropped out? Did he? Oh, no, there he is.
He said bye. Maybe.
I don't know what he was talking about. Something about maybe hearing this.
I didn't get it either.
All right. So enough of that. Does anyone have any questions? Is everyone up to speed and clear on how the campaign functions?
I'd like to make a correction from earlier.
Sure.
I mentioned the Alan Moore characters and Watchmen. They were taken from the Charlton characters, not the Archie characters. The Archie, they were the competition. But nonetheless, just want to make that correction.
The what? The which characters?
Charlton. You never read the Charlton comics of the 70s?
No, but Sabrina the Little Witch, that's interesting. Speaking of television interpretations of comic book characters, if anyone's seen that series.
There you go.
The first season was something that the wife and I were able to share in viewing. It's kind of difficult, as you can imagine, people from different backgrounds and cultures. We're talking about racial pride, just in the earlier.
Well, I wanted to chime in earlier. I was going to say before, it's okay to be white.
Yeah. Well,
right?
no, but sure, of course.
I don't think it really even needs to be said. So,
look,
but nonetheless,
I don't take any pride nor shame in that. In that, whatever race I would have been, presumably that, and or the country where I was born. I
think that whole psyop should be explored, though, Jeffy. Like we
What's
should
that?
totally explore that whole psyop of what they've done to people to make it like to where it's a movement, to where it's like a retarded movement. I'm talking about the white pride movement kind of thing, because I actually thought of another person too who could chime in with that whole thing, which is crazy. I remember one time asking him. Well, I didn't really ask him, but he was going on about the white. Well, he was about that anyway. And I'm like, well, what about? And I remember it was so long ago before I knew about what I know about now, but it had to do with organisms. And I was like, well, what about these little organisms? They don't have like a prejudice about each other and things like that, because I was like trying to figure out, and just conversate with dude about what he's tripping on, I mean, or not necessarily what he's tripping on, but what his beliefs are and things like that. I was just trying to relate, like everyone does. And so, it was funny to where, and actually that was one of the whenever that happened, that's when I kind of got like almost brought into the whole, or I wouldn't say brought in because nobody brings you anywhere, but to where my mind was able to fathom all the things that they're into as far as that whole thing goes. You know what I mean? And I'm just going to be a little extreme here, but there's been folks who like have killed other people just because of the color of their skin, which, or, you know, Jewish or
Happens
whatever,
every day.
you know, the whole
Happens
thing.
every day. That's
Well,
right.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. But my point is that I know that I've experienced that, and I also have some folks
Did you
I can
miss
bring in for
slavery?
interviews about
Did you
things like that,
miss?
which I think would be highly interesting and healing
Oh,
mostly.
as a
Which I'm very
guest,
concerned about the healing
to
part.
bring that
Yes,
person.
as a guest.
Yeah, I
Yes.
said, and I
Did you
said
miss
yes
the whole
too. Fine, we'll
slavery
talk about it.
period on our history? Because I mean, there was a lot of killing because of race here in America. The whole slavery part of it, you know, like a lot of black folks died.
A lot of that stuff's
Yeah,
propaganda, though.
but the thing is,
It's
and hear me,
fascinating.
hear me out for a second. Hear me out for a second.
Sure.
In this planet, unfortunately, there's one thing that never ends, and that's hatred between people because of the differences, whether it's religious, whether it's cultural, whether it's based on the skin color. This is a divisive mentality that unfortunately we all suffer through, and until that is completely taken care of, and we're all self-aware that that needs to be eliminated, we all circle back into the same junk. And unfortunately, as modern as we like to think we are, we're still remember, we're type zero civilization. We're still monkey people. We're just trying to make our way through the jungle, and like a one-legged man and an ass-kicking contest. We're not doing very well in this, and unfortunately, we can't sit here and say we got to stop racism, because you're never going to do that. There's always going to be some ass who's a racist. That's unfortunate. It's the fact. No matter how hard we try, you can never say we're going to end racism. It's just
I respectfully disagree, because anything we want to do, we can do. Period.
It's always going to be somebody who says, I don't like him because of this or that reason. You're never going to get to everybody 100%. It's just unfortunate.
Yeah, it's more than that though too, because the people, be careful. It's like Nietzsche warned us about, be careful those who go hunting monsters, that they do not themselves become a monster. And
or create the monsters
so
themselves
that
with what we
all
know
too
now.
often that's what we find. It's like, I'm going to stamp this out. They go on this crusade and campaign, and it ends up causing a whole lot more problems and more suffering and more grief. But this is what the powers that be, they absolutely thrive on. It's like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Oh, you want us to fund that? Not a problem. More debt? Not a problem. We'll finance this and support this. You sure? We'll go.
And what I'm going for is just to clear any misconceptions with actual people who have been in that whole ordeal, to that will generate healing, because the folks I'm talking about, there's a healing that can happen.
Okay, so you're reaching out to those people right now, using this platform to reach out to them potentially. Is that right?
Well, yes.
Okay.
And not only create healing for the person being interviewed, but for those who might be listening as well, who might misunderstand that or not know about that.
Well, would you like them to contact you right now if they're feeling that in their hearts and their psyche has been somehow scarred by these issues that you're
what's the question?
referring to? Well, if you're that passionate about it, would you like people who are listening now, if you provide your contact information?
Sure.
Are you open to that?
Absolutely.
Complete strangers?
Absolutely. I mean,
damaged goods,
only because I have experience in this can I speak on it. You know what I mean? And I don't ever want to speak on anything I don't really know about. Now I'll let you know if I don't know about it. But this is something I have like in depth experience in. Like it's fascinating, actually. And plus I can basically, the more healing we can do for humanity, period, is a good thing. And I think that if we provide that for folks, that when you talk about things, bring them out, they can be healed, because they can't really be healed if they're hidden somewhere, if no one knows about them, kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, we got to, and the thing is, we have to heal ourselves first and foremost before we go about trying
All part of
to
the process.
help
All part of the
others.
process,
So
you know?
unless it end up being the blind leading the blind, I think is the New Testament.
Yeah, well,
put
you
it more
know,
or
we
less.
can stick with that if we want, but what I'm aiming for is ultimate healing for humanity, period. I mean, that's always been my goal, and I'm not trying to say I know more than anybody else or anything like that, but I have had experiences that leads me to want to do this sort of thing. So there you go.
Well, that's a noble aim and goal. It's very much in line, I guess, with the Mahayana type version of Buddhism, Scientology in some ways too, but in a more kind of twisted way, the way that they have things laid out, that everyone has to be saved. All religions too, like let's not forget, Islam is good at this, where everyone has to, they're expected to convert to Islam before peace can finally be achieved on the earth, right? So
Which is BS.
well, yeah. So, but the main thing is just, I think, really to work on ourselves. And it's the old saying I've referenced it here multiple times in the past. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I
don't
can,
know about
and the wisdom.
But I do know this is kind
the
of a
wisdom
niche topic.
to listen when the host is speaking. The wisdom to know the difference. Now repeat after me. Go ahead. You weren't listening,
You're
were
so
you?
funny.
You weren't listening. God grant me the serenity. I do this with my wife every night. God grant me the serenity. So you're that close, Sonia. You're that close. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
I don't know. How I see it is that
the
God,
courage
if you
to
put God
change the
outside of
things.
yourself,
The
then
courage
you don't
to
have
change.
control. God is always something you could blame whatever on.
Well,
and stuff
whatever. Just
when
how about
you're the one that's in control of your physical reality.
Sonia.
That's the big secret.
The universe grant me.
Sonia.
Universe grant me the serenity. How about that? Does that work better for you? Nature grant me. Universe grant me. Works for me. Whatever tickles your fancy.
Well, if you're creating everything in the first place, then how can anything else be in charge of anything that you experience?
So what, you're all about ego then, is what it is. Is that me?
No, it's not about ego, Jeffy. Come on, man.
I don't know.
With
I was
your
asking.
You must be unburdened by what has been, Jeff.
Asking.
You must be unburdened by what has been, Jeff.
No burden. No burden. What Kamala bullshit going on? None of that. None of the circling around. We're not doing any of that. You got to let that be ricocheted off of your field. All that circle bullshit.
But it's my feelings, Sonia.
We got 30 minutes to unburden ourselves here, folks, before we wind up the show. Let me say, this former defense minister of South Korea, as you can see on your screen now, hopefully everyone can see on their screen. If we got
just aren't feelings anymore.
That's terrible singing.
Dude, we're all just humans here. I mean, for the love of God. I mean, for the love of everything that's awesome.
At home.
You know,
Look,
I mean,
what do we have on the
ever
screen
have
here,
anything
Sonia?
awesome if we keep thinking about this stupid bullshit.
Can anyone hear me?
Circling back around the stupid bullshit. Things like that, you know?
Let's go see if we can do this. Let's go. One.
From people who don't know and
that worked pretty well. Good. I gotta love Skype. So yeah, the South Korean former defense minister did attempt to take his own life, claims CNN. This is who we're looking at here, I guess. So this is just in the past few hours that the story has broke. Thank you to Thomas Huckle via Facebook. Also, Thomas, I know you're active on X. They have shut down both of our accounts. You know, Elon, the Colossus, free speech Colossus, technocrat, Emperor Musk, I guess, has determined that we're too dangerous for his platform and shut down both of our accounts, suspended for the past few weeks. No reason given whatsoever. On a more positive note, there is another major platform that we are eyeing and looking to perhaps launch an account on, and it could very well take place in sometime in the new year.
He's going on Tinder. He's going to be a Tinder member.
Tinder.
OnlyFans.
That's pretty. Tinder's
No,
pretty.
Tinder. Jeffy is a Tinder dude. You know,
Oh,
he's gonna be
yes,
he's gonna be
you do
streaming on
both.
Tinder.
Isn't
dude.
that pretty faggy? That whole Tinder thing.
Hey, I'm not going there. That's
You're the
all on
well.
you.
You're the one who seems to
Jeffy.
know a
Divine
lot. A few.
masculine, okay?
Who seems to
Jeffy.
know a
That's all I
few
gotta
things
say.
about it. Not me.
Jesus.
I mean, you're the one that said that it was faggy.
That's
and
all I've
shit.
heard
No,
is Tinder's faggy. So you what? I mean, you want you want to meet over there or something? Is what you're getting at? You want to hook up?
I'm just saying, dude. Freaking.
Don't you have a girlfriend?
You would be.
You need a girlfriend.
You would be on Tinder.
I know you live with your
do good on
mom. It's
Tinder.
great that you're there taking care of your
Now,
mom,
hey,
but
you'd be good on Tinder.
you
now.
need another woman's feet to rub at night. You know, not just your mom's. With the massage, it kind of, yeah.
Well, that's really not what I do. I don't rub her feet,
You don't, yeah. I'm sure she's not down with the whole back massage thing from time to time. Older people usually are. You kind of.
You have no clue how it is with old ladies, man.
I guess, yeah.
You
In
guys are so
Korea,
bad.
it's totally all right. It's seen as. It's normal in Korea to help your parents out and give them
You're
massages.
supposed
and
to.
stuff. Well,
You're supposed to.
yeah.
People who don't help their parents out are the ones in the wrong.
No,
for
I'm
that
talking
shit.
about
Yeah, they're
I'm talking
fucked
about
up.
body
Yeah.
massage, not just helping, but body massage.
I don't know about
Rub,
that.
rub,
Makes
rub.
such a
got a
difference.
question
Chop,
for
chop.
Makes such a
Jeff.
difference.
I have
Yeah,
a
you got
question
that.
for
It
Jeffy
does.
directly
It helps
here.
so much. You're right. Yes.
Jeffy, since you're into the whole pirate thing, what would a good
Yes, it does.
tramp stamp in the back look like for you?
A
Tinder.
good tramp? What are you talking about? Tramp stamp?
Like the tattoo, the receptacle gets in the back, right?
Tail piece,
before
tramp stamp. Come
Tramp
on,
stamp.
yeah, right
Tramp
before the entrance of the lunar region, as we like to call it down here in the dirty south.
Are you fixating with these bleached buttholes?
Tinder.
No, but
again,
since we're
or-
talking about
something to say about
Tinder,
tramp
I'm
stamps,
asking
okay?
you.
We'll let him talk.
We're talking about Tinder here.
No,
I just want to know, like,
Roger
what would
was
you
talking about
consider
Tinder.
a good tramp stamp for yourself
Tinder.
on Tinder.
No idea. I
Put
still
Tinder
don't.
right
I'd have
on-
to look up tramp stamp. I have no idea what it means. Still.
It's,
you're
it's,
just
a,
pirate
it's a
stuff.
tattoo that is near your ass at the bottom of your shirt. That's all it is.
Oh, on
When you
your
bend
shirt.
over, you can see a
on
tattoo.
your shirt.
Yeah,
No.
I call it a tailpiece.
It's on your butt
being in the
cheek.
business,
On
but
your
tramp
butt
stamp.
cheek.
No,
Just above
it's,
your
a,
butt.
it's
No,
a little
no,
bit,
it's
a
up-
little
it's
bit above the
upwards.
butt cheek.
It's
It's
on your
right
base of
before
your
the
spine.
back.
crack.
Come on, Jeff.
Get a
lower
Right.
back.
tattoo of Tinder
Very
and put
simple.
it right there where the tramp stamp is, Jeff. You just put Tinder
Yes.
right there. That's all you got to do.
that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, Roger, yeah.
Yes.
Roger nailed it. Roger nailed it like a triple X.
Roger's all about
Roger
nailing
nailed
those
it.
tramp
I
stamps.
can
is what I'm
so
trying to
hook
say.
you up with that, Jeff. I'm just saying.
I would get a tramp stamp, but the only problem is like they don't freaking have anything good to put on there for a tramp stamp. I think it'd be cool if a dude had a tramp stamp and then
Dude.
kind of like walked around
Absolutely.
showing his
I've
shit
done
off.
some,
You have to
I've
get
done some
Tucker
dude
Thunder.
tramp
That's
stamps
you.
before.
You know. Now this thing
Yeah,
about
usually
you
tramp
dressing
stamps
up.
consist of guys' names or last names. So they're
This-
labeled. The chicks are labeled. Kind of thing.
The one
Which is
thing
cool,
I
I
actually
guess,
did.
whatever.
Hey, listen. All kidding aside, the one thing I did consider in the past was actually it's reflecting upon making the decision to come to Korea. It's too bad I didn't go to Japan. I could
same
have
Korea,
really,
dude.
I could really have got around there. I think in style. But
You're
Totally
right
tattoo.
you're right in the middle of it. Though.
yeah,
You
it's
know
totally.
that,
It's
right?
like, hey, it's like this exotic meat, foreign meat. And it's So the Japanese though, it's a different mindset with the women than the Koreans.
They're crybabies.
The Japanese girls, the women.
Yeah, I mean, dude, when you're having an orgasm, you don't want to have to freaking think about wiping your girl's tears out of her eyes. You know
They
what I'm
cry.
saying? It's
They
like,
cry when they climax.
Hey,
Yeah, they cry.
you know what? I've got to say something here, Roger and Jaffe and everybody, that there has been times when I have, and it wasn't even with anyone special so much. And afterwards, I mean, it wasn't even like during orgasm or anything.
Definitely not.
But orgasms are
family-friendly.
different for girls than they are for guys as far as when you're having intercourse goes. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, it's
there
not as
there
painful
was
for us.
there was times when I cried afterwards, and I still don't know exactly why I cried.
En français, le
But it
petit
wasn't
mort.
wasn't a
Wow,
bad
I
cry.
can
It
give
wasn't
you, I
like
can give
a
you
cry
several
on.
inches.
Do you know the French term for orgasm, what it translates as?
Orgasm.
No.
Yeah.
Le petit mort, literally the little death.
Oh yeah, I've
Oh,
heard of the little
yeah.
death. I've never heard it
That
said
makes
in
sense.
French.
Well,
though.
well, that goes back to how the more orgasms you have, the less life you have, like the less life
Well,
energy you
yeah,
have.
exactly. There you go.
Let me also point
Yeah.
something else out too. These
That's where
Japanese girls,
cancer comes from.
they don't cry just during the orgasm. They cry through the whole
No.
thing. So you're like sitting
Yeah.
there.
How many?
freaking-
Is this based? How many
Yeah,
Japanese girlfriends have you had?
Dude, I watch porno, dude.
Okay, so
I don't-
well, there you go. Well,
don't
you're
gotta
going to
be
get a really
Japanese,
realistic
first of all.
sense of
Dude, I mean,
what it's all
know they
about
had that
watching
kind of
that,
porno going on. Wow.
genuine
That's
Japanese.
so
It's called
intimate.
jab.
skin
It's called
flick
jab.
stuff.
Why would they?
Did you say
Is
did you
it?
say cancer, Sonia? Earlier you said if you you know, what is it? If you no FAP February something, you increase your chances of contracting
No.
cancer? Or did I mishear you?
No, she said she's the fat
No, I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Alan, you're back. You got something you'd like to
Hi, Alan.
add to the mix? I'm not sure. We're running short on time, another 20 minutes or so. Hopefully everyone's will have a chance to get out to the listeners what
Everybody
they
mute and
ideally
let
would
Alan
like to.
speak.
Mr.
I
Alan,
couldn't find that, Jeffy, by the
unmute
way.
your mic, Mr. Alan Amos Dale 777. Army Hardy. Find the mic is the number one rule here, but the way you play the game, how we get the
I
job
think
done.
he is lacking there, Captain.
You think a seasoned sea dog such as himself would?
Yeah. I looked for the chat, Jeffy, on the whole
Straight to the
shut down the
break.
computer thing,
Straight to the break.
and
hit the
I
button
could
with
not
the
find it.
microphone,
However,
Alan.
Hang him on
I'm
the
sure you
yardarm.
guys seen how
Yes, a
the
lovely
Facebook
beard,
has been making you like put in a code or whatever in order to receive your chat history.
Oh,
which
really?
is really
Okay.
kind of
know
weird.
what she's talking
Or just to
about,
log in.
Jeffy.
Yeah, I never did that.
Oh.
So, but in any case, I still I looked for a few minutes while we were on break, which is very, very quick, and I couldn't find any evidence of what I was talking about as far as what I sent people for it to shut down. Yeah,
Crying
I just
at
wanted to let you know that I looked and I have not been able to find anything quite of yet.
What is she referring
you
to? Is anyone
looking for?
following this woman?
No, I
What we were talking
train of
about
thought.
before we went to the bloody commercial,
Is
we
that-
were
Yeah, but
talking
that's
about
like an
how
hour
I shut
ago.
down because I sent
that's an
people
hour
a bunch of stuff, and and it
That
was
was an hour
actually
ago.
the shop
We'll talk
computer
about
that shut down. The next day it wouldn't turn on. Kind of.
The chemtrail geoengineering nonsense. Yeah. Well,
yeah, and it wasn't chemtrails, but yes, that's it.
well, that's ever present really here in Korea. It's not as bad as it has been over the past years, but it's almost like any time you go out, there's a 50% chance you'll see some significant activity in the sky, with the spray lingering and slowly spreading out across the sky,
Sure.
or just
Absolutely.
a payload that has been dropped and delivered. So it was just a few minutes prior. I'd like to know who to call. Do I have to contact a 5-star general or who exactly to see if we can get to the bottom of this actual reason why they're doing this and how
I'm sure they would be able to help you.
Bring about an end to the poisoning of our skies. And no, let's not forget everything within the ecosystem as well too. The justification they use is, once again, with Skynet. Oh, we're just protecting you. It's all about safety from an outside invader, right? Kind of like with martial law brought in, Korea trying to bring in martial law under Yoon. We're just trying to protect you from the North Koreans, right? It's just like Bush and the Unpatriot Act. We're just trying to protect you from these bad people out there. Not us. We're the good. See, we're the good cowboys. They're those terrorists out there. We're hunting for them really, we're quite committed and dedicated to getting to the bottom of this. Wink, wink.
Terrorism.
Nudge, nudge. So yeah, it's full spectrum dominance, folks, right down to every last little nanoparticulate, including and especially the stream of consciousness that that we have as each and every one of us throughout the course of our lives, day-to-day activities. And how are we tied in, and or do we live as prisoners to this mental activity, or do we actually overcome? And the way I like to look at it, Vinny, I know you had something you threw out there, but like Jesus and the sword to divide. Well, that's for me. It's like Manjushri in the Buddhist tradition, and the sword of wisdom. What is the other? There's another name for Manjushri, the sword bearing the sword of wisdom, and just cutting through. It's cutting through the mental impediments, obstacles, and so forth, the things that cloud our minds or that mess with us, and really, mental toxicity, and not least of which is the crap that Hollywood television, the Mockingbird news media, which we haven't watched here in 15 years, that they work on programming us with. The education system's been weaponized, as we all know. Water's been polluted, air. What else? I mean, food
You
supply.
watched Sonia's interview, didn't you?
What about her interview?
No.
You watched her interview, didn't you?
Did you guys
No.
do? No. Did you do it recently? I got the.
No, we just did it this last
Saturday.
week.
Well, way to go! Like,
Yeah, it was really good, actually.
She was talking about all that stuff you were talking about, and like
Well, I'll go listen to it.
It was really weird when you said all that stuff, because it started sounding like you was actually talking about some
Where
stuff
did she get
said.
all of her best material from?
Oh.
Roger, come on.
Yeah, I know.
Hello.
She gets it from Tinder.
Ellen has hand up.
I can see her doing Tinder.
Go ahead, Ellen.
No, I don't do Tinder. Okay, so whatever, you guys. Meet me.
It's
is what I want to say.
OnlyFans.
Meet me,
She's
not
not on Tinder. She's on OnlyFans. She only performs for money.
Tinder with a
what?
strap on. She'd be popular over
OnlyFans.
there.
I never
you
heard
gotta
of
have
that
the
shit,
strap
dude.
on.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
They say
Okay,
it's
chat your bit. Chatterbait.
Alan,
had his hand up.
Mosedale.
Yeah, eventually I'll get a word in. Jeffy will shut up eventually.
Needing a dentist appointment.
Sorry.
We like that with the T-shirt. No. We love it. We love. It's got to stand up a little so we can see it.
Yeah. That's not so
one of my
much.
t-shirts,
Anyway,
or our t-shirts.
Hold on. Let them speak.
As you may have noticed, I've changed location. I'm down the Baja, having a quiet ale with me mates, sort of thing. And, well, soon after arriving, a conversation happened between a bunch of blokes, and there was one bloke saying, "Look, about chemtrails and things like that," and the other guy was saying, "No, why would the government do that?"
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, I need to talk to that bloke more.
Open
why
borders.
would the government do that?
Why would the government do that? Yeah.
And that was sort of leading into one of the conversations you were holding earlier, which I thought was quite apt, sort of thing. So that's what I finally got around to jumping in and saying what I had to say. So yeah, well, thanks for having us and all that sort of thing. You saw the link in the description for in the chat for my show. It was quite a good one. Yeah. Imagine getting to talk to Max Dugan. Yeah.
Well
Barry.
done. Well done.
This is my mate Barry. He's he's just a.
Hello, mate.
Actually, he's a bit of a pirate. He's got a yacht. He sails around.
Big yacht.
Big catamaran.
A catamaran? You say catamaran?
Hey, Barry.
Yeah,
but does he walk the plank? That's the question. Does he walk the plank?
Well,
if you don't behave yourself, you'll be walking the fucking plank.
There he is. That's it. That's a pirate.
Matey.
That's a fucking pirate.
Yeah.
I can barely believe the yacht thing. Oh my God.
Say that again, dude.
Whoa.
He even has the pirate accent, the Australian.
Talk about a synchronicity, Roger.
Barry needs an eye patch. She'd be perfect.
Later.
That's right.
You're welcome to come over any time.
Yeah, come over. Barry's got plenty of room in his boat.
In my house.
At his house. Yeah,
Heaton.
This is going all over the world, Barry.
Yeah, that's okay.
South Korea,
Are
Canada.
you guys looking for Davy Jones's locker, by the way, by any chance?
Currently 10,000 people watching Barry Purse's lips via Wanji, Australia.
Yes.
And what a great set of lips those are. And I only say that because of my
you got a
long-standing
pretty mouth.
Tinder experience.
Yes,
You got a pretty mouth. That's for sure.
Tinder, I'm telling you, dude.
No, I love you, Barry, but not like that. No,
I'm definitely not gay.
yeah, well, thanks back for that. Yeah.
He's still got a pretty mouth.
You still need a pirate t-shirt.
I'll give you a fact. Lake Macquarie, it's the biggest.
You ever come to the
lake
South or Shag?
Biggest lake in Southern Hemisphere.
Yep,
Right.
It is. It's the biggest lake connected to a it's like there's an ocean just over there.
Right.
And it's the biggest saltwater lake in Australia and what in the world, is it?
Southern Hemisphere.
Lake Quarry? Is it called Lake Quarry?
Lake Macquarie.
Macquarie, right, yeah. Now, do actual marine sea life make their way in from the larger, what is it, the South Atlantic is what we're looking at there? Or what the hell, South Pacific? Obviously, South Pacific, yeah.
There's lots of sea life. There's lots of fish. We even got sharks.
Well, I would imagine. Hell yeah.
Yeah, there's lake, all sorts of prawns. Prawns are good.
Oh, my God.
A lot of you think they're called shrimps. We call them prawns.
Right.
Bloody, where the fuck did that term come from, shrimps? Oh, fucking Paul Hogan. He should have called them prawns. That's what we call them.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, and speaking of which, I was going to ask you, shark attacks, and might as well, like Paul Hogan is pretty old now, obviously, but shark attacks, how many per year and how many people die because of it in Australia?
Bugger all.
Oh, it's got to be one or two.
A guy got, yeah, probably. A guy got, actually a young guy got attacked in West Australia just the other day. It was all over the news, but
right.
The sharks
are more dangerous.
Crocodiles, yes. Crocodiles are, seriously. Never mind the spiders and the snakes.
Oh, hang on. So hold it. So the most lethal animal, what's that? Come again?
And they got the deadliest spider in the world.
I'd imagine.
Funnel web.
Oh yeah, they're creepy and scary as all hell. You have black widows?
They're like little.
We're not talking about ex-wives necessarily either.
20 times more dangerous than a black widow.
Oh my God! What are they? What are they called, Alan? What's the name?
Black funnel web, you say?
Yeah.
Funnel web. There's don't you get them over there?
Hell, I sure as hell hope not. No. We have spiders in our house here. We let them. We just grab them and put them out where we can. That's the way we roll here. So.
Have a funnel web.
What's that?
No, they're about 20 centimeters across.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They're only about 10 centimeters.
They got big fangs.
Big fangs.
Mate, Alan will send you a photo of a funnel web.
Holy the name of the spider is funnel web, and they make funnel webs too. Is that right?
Again?
Do they actually spin funnel webs?
No. Well, they well, pretty much, I guess.
Well, they got the name, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, well, it's not the webs you got to worry about. That's just to carry insects.
Oh, I understand. Sure.
It's not to disturb one.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're like in rocks and in gardens and that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
The female's like a tarantula, but not quite as big, and the male's smaller, and the male's, like 5 times more deadlier. And we're talking about the most deadliest spider in the world.
So if you're bit by one, how long until you're dead?
Half an hour.
Okay. Is there anti-funnel web antidote that people can carry with them?
Oh, you don't take that. if you get unlucky, like it's pretty rare, but if you get bitten, you go to hospital and have an anti-venom in the hospital, hopefully for you.
If you get there quick enough.
It's an anti-venom shot.
Yeah. Yeah. We've also
don't the ambulances carry it?
Probably. They don't. Oh, geez, that's got to change. Alan, you need to get into office and change these things.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm sure that'll work.
Get to the dentist and maybe trim your beard a little. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Hey, well, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, the face is the face.
Get out there, use
still
your
work.
bully pulpit, and start preaching.
Jeffrey's never on camera.
No.
Actually,
Yeah,
no,
well,
that's
not never.
Alan. When I'm with Robert Morningstar, he insists that he's really quite insistent. So I go to the other locations, the little mini academy that we have here, right? It's about about just a short walk from where we're currently.
Tell him, Alan.
And I get on camera. In fact, if the wife, I've been bugging her, pestering her, saying, "Listen, bitch, we got the campaign coming up." No, I don't say that. I say, "Sweetheart,
Right.
baby doll, honey bun."
Yeah,
The little clip on. You have the camera. Can you please bring it home? Like try to use it for the campaign.
Strikingly different.
Yeah. The first one maybe didn't go over so well, but it caught your attention, so that was the point. It's like, fuck. Like George Carlin says, like, find a line where you're not supposed to cross over, then do it. It's like
I'm still waiting for this weekend cafe culture that Australians are supposed to be famous for. Like, where's all this weekend cafe culture?
What is a weekend cafe for? What, coffee or weed or what?
Freaking, that's all I've ever heard. Like, their culture, they're supposed to be like known for being laid back and having a weekend cafe culture.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they're doing now. Look at them. These guys are just chilling, man.
Like, I mean, it
looks pretty chill.
I did see that bowling alley thing that Amos put up on those videos, man. That's actually pretty cool.
It is cool, yeah. Yeah, it's his local club. Yeah.
It's like straight out of the 1940s kind of shit. Like back.
It's a lot of fun.
Remember when they used to have those resorts where like rich people could go to with their families and stuff?
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of.
Sure. Yeah.
Just a place to get away.
Yeah, socialize. And, that's right. Just relax and definitely
They had
good times.
They had old ladies that were supposed to come over and play bingo, I guess, on there.
Alan told you this?
It was on his video. It was cool as hell. He's like, they come in there and play bingo and stuff.
Things
like that.
At the Balls Club.
Yep.
Well, the boys go out and play with each other's balls. Yeah.
Bunch of ball swing fanatics.
Wow, why is those got to come to that?
Lesbian bingo and good times with the boys' balls. On the other side of so. Oh God.
Yeah, Nietzsche too. When you guys were talking about him, there's one thing that everybody always forgets about when it comes to him.
Who?
Nietzsche.
Oh, Nietzsche.
No. Everybody keeps forgetting the fact that when he died a horrible death, and it was so bad that his sister, I believe, freaking was selling tickets for people who hated him to come and see him in bad conditions.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Wow, I don't. The shit. She was
a horrible person.
Apparently, she really was an awful person. This is terrible.
Yep.
But
it was like people hated him because of his views and stuff. But
what about his views?
Well, his views were very anti-socialist, like you had a lot of the socialist movements that were taking place during that time period, especially in France. And then Nietzsche was the one who was against certain things like child rearing. They were coming up with all this philosophical bullshit about the best way to rear your child and stuff.
Well,
and he was always he was always attacking that.
The herd mentality he was definitely opposed to time and again. You can see that in his writings. So that was his position, that was his take and opinion, assessment of things, which is interesting. Ironic. Then you have the National Socialists come along, the Nazis, and it's like, what can we do with this guy? Let's see. Let's see if we can incorporate him into our ideology and get to.
They manipulated his theories so they could use.
Yeah, because he was very anti-herd, or the sheep, the sheep and herd mentality, completely. The groupthink, definitely. Yeah, that's right.
And with Buddhism will do a lot better if they finally admit that freaking they're an offshoot of what Zoroastrianism is. They're like brothers and sisters.
How do you? Well, speaking of Buddhism, I like I'd like to know how you reckon this. But going back to Nietzsche, just in brief, he was a closet Buddhist. You realize that, don't you?
He was more Zoroastrian.
Well, what happened? See, he was first influenced by Schopenhauer, right? And Schopenhauer was one of the first high-profile, prominent Western philosophers to really be able to absorb and then propagate Buddhist philosophy of a sort. I think it was mostly the Hinayana or Theravadan style. He didn't really know much or come into contact with the Mahayana school of thought, the Northern Buddhism, as it's known. It's mostly Southern, interestingly. So, but yeah, really intriguing all around with the way.
See, I had my issues. I had my issues with that too. It's because like everybody, they know that like Christians have denominations, and they don't understand that Buddhism has that sort of denominational thing going on too.
Totally. Oh, big time. Yeah, man. Oh yeah. I just had a. Go ahead.
And the thing that I get really annoyed about when it comes to the traditional Buddhists is the fact that how harsh their views are on people who are Buddhist and incorporated stuff like tantric beliefs and everything into this Buddhist religion.
Okay, you lost me there. Exactly. What's your beef?
Well, I just don't like how a lot of the traditionalists who are against tantric beliefs.
Oh, I see. You're talking about the Theravadan, the original old school elders, way of the elders, the Southern.
And their views on freaking what is that? You guys say
the tantric stuff, yeah, with Tibetans and so forth. Yeah, you find a lot of that here in South Korea, where they really are quite jaded and very cynical. In that manner, that light and capacity. But we can pick up on this. It's it's an area of conversation that endlessly intrigues me. But here's the thing with Nietzsche in particular. We've got to wind things down now too. But with Nietzsche in particular, I did write about this in university actually. Interestingly enough, believe it or not, I was actually up for a special award at one point along the way. Word got back to me, and what's really interesting within the context of all this is that I had a premonition that this was going to happen and occur. There's something in the air that I could feel, maybe like, all eyes upon me, or that being able to engage people and, just who knows what exactly, and with my own particular views regarding this and that. But it never came to light. And I bombed terribly. I did pass and graduate, but I think the end of my academic career, everything sort of spiraled out of control. In the end, the professor that was
all right.
I graduated, but
your linguistics, you're teaching English to people in Korea. That's not bad. That's pretty good. You should
English language facilitator. I'm an ELF. Professional elf.
You're an elf.
Professional. That's why we've got the upcoming Operation Secret Santa. Why I've been dedicated for the past 10 years. Why I just kind of dropped at, it just fell off at our doorstep here from out of the ether, from out of the cosmic Christmas ether. And we've been working on, cultivating, developing, evolving the bare bones sort of vision that we started with. So
Did you like the song I made for you?
didn't hear it, man.
Oh, you didn't, did you?
No, didn't hear any song.
It was about Captain Sinclair having to go to the library to check his computer emails and stuff.
Oh,
it's all.
Is it AI produced or what exactly?
Yes, yeah, it's AI produced.
Okay, cool. Well, that works. I'll go send us a link and I'll check it out, and we can actually share it.
It's in that Murder Time Fun Time video that I put together on Rumble.
Can you share or upload the file
Yeah,
just as a singular type unit?
Yeah, I can do it.
And, item?
Yeah, I can.
So, all right, folks. Vinny from Brooklyn, you've stayed the course here. I know it gets late for you out there in the Eastern Time Zone. Robert Morningstar checked out an hour or so ago now, but the children are not sex toys, in case anyone actually needs to be reminded of this. It's something I often reflect upon in a very deep and profound way, as best I can, of course, biblical sense. From the Christian perspective, which is actually very Buddhist, once again. And that's why I do believe, and probably believe this till the day I die, that Christ was himself a Mahayana Buddhist, one of these new northern graduate, or someone that had been very much influenced by northern Buddhism throughout the course of his 18 missing years, of which many scholars do speculate that if you kind of read between the lines a little bit, and places like the Gnostic Gospels, Gospel of Thomas in particular, I mean, how much more Taoist do you want to get?
I think Jesus was a fiction.
Okay, well, or Jesus was a mushroom, or he didn't exist. Yes, but he had a pretty big family for somebody he didn't exist.
Really,
big family for.
We don't really know.
You know about his family?
History.
Do you know about? Are you aware of the Mary Magdalene, the synagogues, temples that were revealed? It's all this Age of Apocalypse, of course, the unveiling, revealing through archaeology. That were discovered.
Were you there to see it?
What's that?
No, well, we
might have been. Who knows? Be born. How many times is born again in the New Testament? You know how many times that you find that catchphrase present?
It's so cool.
35 times we're born again. It's like, seems rather important. What might be really going on here? Born again.
I'm gonna write down. I'm gonna write down that I'm Jesus Christ's Savior and put my name on it. In 2,000 years from now, somebody's gonna say Roger was Jesus Christ. It was written right here. It's written. It's the proof. Yeah.
That's
no
an
evidence.
excellent point, Roger.
No evidence to back it up, but just some idiot freaking dug it up out of the dirt and said, "Hey, man, this dude said he's Jesus Christ. It's got to be true."
Well,
or somebody had control of all of the media and then kind of did it that way.
Are you responsible for an entire New Testament tradition?
I could do that, and then somebody would find it and say, "Hey, man, this dude knows his shit."
Well, L. Ron Hubbard did it.
Yeah, exactly. My whole point. L. Ron Hubbard, perfect.
Reverend Sun Young Moon Sung Myung. There's been
what was the name of the dude that poisoned his people with Kool-Aid?
Jim Jones. That wasn't too much. He was just a goofy. He was like a CIA kind of asset, and a CIA MK Ultra sort of deal that went really bad.
He was telling all those women that he was Jesus and that they had to have sex with him.
Was he really? I had no idea.
He had like 20 kids.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Did he had one boy who died at the scene apparently, right? When There's a boy named Steven, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And
Actually, I might have been mixing that up with Koresh, to be honest with you, because Koresh had
well,
shitloads of kids.
yeah. So, all right, all conversation for another time. But I think you're kind of stretching things a little bit here.
Babies. That's what they do. See, they want to say they're Jesus, and then they want to have babies with women.
Yeah. Every cult leader does exactly. That's right. But there's different types of cults. You know, people have to realize that, and there's not all are just. I mean, look at where does the word cult come from? Culture.
It's not a bad word. It's
culture,
not really
folks.
a bad word.
No,
Christians
it isn't.
were cult.
No, it depends on what's going on. The nuts and bolts. It can be, and usually there's one charismatic leader, and there's often when the coercive that whole business comes into the picture. You start like getting really heavy-handed with people, and the flow of money that becomes a big deal. Like look at Scientology, the cult of greed, and it's many other examples.
Well, like Jesus,
too, so.
Christianity, or not Christianity, but Jesus and his followers, they were considered a blood cult
because of eating bread, drinking wine.
Yeah.
Also cannibals too, right? So, but I mean, that's what they did. They just they wanted the people that did not like them, wanted to run them down, have them wiped off the face of the earth, portrayed them in the most extreme, ridiculous way imaginable, straw manning, and ad hominems and so forth. So
it's just like a Buddha. Like I've mentioned it to you before. Up in the northern parts around Afghanistan, they found paintings of red-headed Buddhists.
Really?
On cave walls.
When?
Yeah. Back during the time when what was it?
Don't say Alexander the Great. Yeah.
Alexander the Great it was actually during that time period.
Yeah. But when were the caves discovered?
The caves were discovered back in the 80s or 90s. And there's a documentary of not only in Afghanistan but also in Tibet, where they went into these caves and they found these photos or these paintings of Buddha with red hair and his face was scratched out.
Oh yeah, sure. There's that, and then the you break off their noses and the eyes and everything. That's right. Look at the red-headed mummies of the Taklamakan Desert.
Exactly.
What's
see
that all about?
And the red-headed kitties.
That had to do with that had to do with the Aryans that were migrating into the area, and like you have the Uyghurs today, and they're descendants of those people.
I guess so. There's the lost Roman legions of Western China, and so the back and back and forth, to and fro, give and take, syncretic. That's the key word here, operative word, folks. Your value-added content for the week, in case there's been nothing else folks have managed to pick up on over the last several hours. Syncretic, synthetic, but also syncretic religion, and the syncretic Greco-Buddhism, 900 years. Why is it that we hear so little of it? Most people never even heard of it, and it's hardly even covered in academic fields within the context of academia. It should be a lot more, I would argue. That's a major time frame we're looking at there. 900.
I'm gonna point something else out too. Everybody says, why is it the Genghis Khan stopped at the borders of India and didn't go in and turned away? Well, my argument is that maybe he didn't turn away. Maybe he was the invasion that they were talking about in the Vedas, and the Indians refused to freaking acknowledge the fact that their religion came from an outside country. They want to say that it was started in India when in fact it came from elsewhere and was imported in.
Yeah, I'd have to hear about this a little more. At some point further on down the road. Let me just before we log off here tonight, check with because I know people like Zane and others have been, sharing comments here and there. So let's see. We had some on Facebook, actually, was what we're looking at. And strange that we're not picking up the feed through, through Restream like we were before. So, this is interesting, really interesting. We got to just, this is something to get so caught up in the conversation and flow of things here. But Zane, yeah, fired away with unpacked, unloaded several great little zingers. Now I hope, let's see if Facebook cut us up again. They did last week into two separate streams and then screwed with the date and everything. And oh God, don't be fooled by Japanese porn. It's catering to Japanese men's fantasies. Japanese man fantasy. So yeah, I can't. I don't mind Japanese watching. Any of that crap is just not my thing. It's kind of just creepy. Any porn all these days, like no.
Crybaby Japanese girls are not cool.
I'm not. I don't know the crybaby thing, but you've got. I guess that's what you've picked up on it all. But I actually thought we might be discussing in depth the current Korean political issues. But hey, it is what it is, I guess. Well, son of a bitch, Zane. I'm really exactly. That's a great point. Hey, if you were on board with us here, you'd be more than welcome to share and to unload what it is that you're, that you've got a clear sense of regarding the situation, just to revisit, and to recap then. Now, I'm not sure how can you impeach the first lady? I don't even know if that's possible. She's, so there's some motion that's gone through Congress and has been rejected by, it has, they haven't had enough votes to support the motion, and nor has the impeachment of the president been successful. From what the wife tells me, and I did try to press her on this, not in the way that she may have preferred, but pressing nonetheless, and they're going to try to impeach once again, supposedly. So, and let's not forget, Yoon, and with his 4 former schoolmates that he grew up with from the time of his high school days, they have been, they have been working on seizing power of this country, and along with the support of who knows who exactly, for quite some time. So for 40 plus years at least from their high school days, maybe even longer. Some people just have it in their DNA, character. They're all about temporal power. They feel they're important enough to serve in public office, and not always for the most, how would you say, overly selfish reasons, unfortunately, is what it ends up being. Irresponsible decisions are made, selfish reasons, and leading to something that backfires in an epic manner, as to what we saw go down here just this past week. And as was mentioned earlier, once again, Zane, the former defense minister, one of his insider crony friends, apparently did try to commit suicide, strangling himself to death with his underwear. I mean, do they have this guy in prison? Is he in custody? There's ongoing series of investigations just outside of the Congress itself that are, said to be in place. But the wife is pretty cynical when it comes to the whole thing, and then from what she's been led to believe, they're just saying this is the ruling. Let's get this straight: the Gukminhim party versus the Minju EJ Myung and the Minju Tang, is that what they're called? So they are the party of the opposition currently, and as compared to the ruling party, now the opposition controls and dominates Congress, and then we have seems to be a lame duck president in the form of Mr. Yoon, who's attempted this ill-fated and it would appeared not all too carefully conceived military coup. But they couldn't get the budget through. I guess that's one of the reasons. There was impeachment efforts already underway and in place, and Yoon was not happy about that. So that was another contributing factor that led him to presumably take the extreme radical measures that he did. The wife's handbag. That's another issue that I'm not clear on. The wife's handbag, the way that I guess it has to do with accepting political gifts, unfortunately. So just the way that, interestingly, in China, it's a different setup and system altogether. But you are not in China, from what I understand, allowed to conduct any investigation or audit of any elected official whatsoever, any member of the Uniparty, the Chinese Communist Party, or their family members. And I think we know how that goes. Just look at the Biden clown show and what we have going, taking place here via South Korea. Why are we getting? Oh, I see. Okay, this is live in real happening right now over on Telegram. So Oliver Jaden. We don't really need to talk to him right now. That's fine. But well, yeah, we'll revisit this at probably throughout the course of the Christmas campaign. Touch on it at least, but just encourage. I don't know, what more can we really say as far as details are concerned. I might, go to the main media outlets. Send us an email, pirate1radio@protonmail.com. Zane, you've shared emails with us in the past. Put something together again so that we can respond more clearly and directly to, to your queries and, concerns that you may have. Things are rather tense in the minds of my adult students. I will say that. I asked them about this whole matter the other day, and whether it was a little things were, as far as they're concerned, a little tense, and they said no, it's like they're really tense, was how they replied. Really, really tense. So there's going to continue to be more street protests and demonstrations, and this is critical, of course, because these are the very basic democratic rights: the rights to protest, the rights to petition your elected officials and representatives. Even trial by jury, which up until just a few decades ago was not part of the Korean system, largely said to be based on a German type model, if you can believe that, their legal system per se, along with the education infrastructure, or as maybe Karl Marx might put it, superstructure, Prussian style model. Go
Might
ahead.
I interject?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to mention how all legal systems are corrupt. That's all.
How do you reckon?
How do I reckon that they're all corrupt?
Yeah, they're legal, aren't they? Aren't all laws good and wonderful, and interpretations are all
there's
wonderful?
Looks like Obi-Wan.
Well, there's no part of legal that really means legal, is there? I mean,
there's no part of legal. There's no part of legal that means just.
Right, like natural law,
or
like real law.
Sure.
You know, so that's how I reckon. That's how I
No,
reckon.
no part of legal which
Thanks for asking.
guarantees justness. That's the
And
problem.
you got to be careful. You got to be careful with natural law too, because there's some slippery slopes there as well. There's a lot of natural law that I really don't agree with.
Mark
either.
Passio, isn't he all about natural law? That's his big thing.
Yeah. Would you like to have him on your show, Jeffy?
Yeah, of course. He doesn't talk to us though.
Would you?
Yeah, why not?
Well,
he's our Facebook friend, but
I
he's
was just
kind of
wondering if you'd like to have him on your show.
Yeah.
He would be talking to you then.
You can.
I'm just saying. I mean, it might be difficult getting him on, but I could probably see what I could do. I'm sure.
Yeah, you can
know,
reach out to him. Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead if you can.
Yeah, I mean, wow, that would be really something else. I mean, you'd really have to, have your questions ready, kind of thing.
Well, I think we do okay.
Anyway, Roger, what were you saying about that? I'm sorry, Jeff.
I was just saying there's some slippery slopes even with natural law too, because
semantics and sure.
But I mean, you got extremes going in all different directions,
Yeah.
And
well, do no harm.
Right,
was it? And NAP, non-aggression principles, is one.
Well,
I find quite.
There's natural law, and then there's not. And natural law, the whole point of that is that we can reckon that within ourselves. We don't have to ask an outside force about it. I mean, that's the whole point of natural law.
Isn't natural law?
It naturally occurs to beings who are alive in this particular realm, to where, if you're like an asshole, you kind of are an asshole, and maybe you'll get some of that asshole energy back. But if you're nice, then, but there again, there's the things that happen otherwise. But still, natural law, I would say, is pretty cool, and it pretty much makes more sense to me than any other law there is.
Might makes right. This is what some people would have it. Might makes
like
right.
Kingship is something that a lot of natural law believers converted into something that was supposed to be noble and good. Like kings were supposed to be a part of the tribe, and you were chosen to be a king and all that bullshit. It still doesn't take away the fact that kings actually treated their subjects like slaves. You couldn't hunt on their land. You couldn't do anything when it comes to crop whatsoever. It was like you were their slaves. If you dressed above your means, then you were criticized and sometimes put to death because of.
Right.
Yeah, sure. Oh God, yeah.
A lot of that stuff, though, is probably propaganda. I mean, we don't really know. We weren't really there, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Original conservatism was the whole thing that started the natural law thing, and what they wanted to do is they wanted a return to imperial government, and they knew that they couldn't get it, so they came up with these conservative ideas.
How about common law, man?
The kind of natural law I'm talking about has nothing to do with anything written anywhere. It's what's written in your heart is natural law.
Then the law of God, man's law, God's law, natural law, common law. There's many branches and divisions of law. I think most people
it's great. It's a great idea.
Law is not the best word though.
It's a great idea, but it's just like anarchy. I was learning about anarchy here lately, and anarchy is a great theory, but in reality, that's where you get what's the name of that group that did the protest when Trump was in office? Antifa.
Propaganda, dude.
They're the most socialist.
I get.
They're the
Mark
most
Passio
socialist
has a lot
group.
to do with that.
But they're the most socialist group, and they're supposed to be out talking about anarchy.
What did Nietzsche say? Once again, in hunting monsters.
Yeah, exactly.
You disagree
like
with
you
Nietzsche?
Were saying earlier.
Nietzsche, hunting monsters. You disagree?
No, she was talking about anarchy.
Yeah, what he was saying.
It just means
it's
rulers.
true.
No rulers.
The actual anarchists that were involved in politics with Antifa and everything, they're straight 100% socialist. Like they actually started the socialist movement in England.
Stalinist, Trotskyites, something to mix it, blend of the two, something.
You guys have seen Mark Passio's stuff, like where he just teaches about being nice to each other. He just teaches about what is good, what is not good.
I might skip that one.
Well,
I just can't be nice.
It's the core of his teachings. That's why he always says go back.
Oh,
you have to go back to the beginning of his videos because that's the core of his teaching is just regular old-fashioned, hey, you're nice, I'm nice, let's be nice to each other kind of thing. It's core, like,
do no harm.
Nice, don't ask me to kiss nobody.
Do no harm.
I will not kiss. I will not kiss nobody.
I will ask you when I meet you, Roger. I will ask you to kiss me for sure. Actually, I'm just gonna kiss you.
Well, you're a female.
And you'll just have to just get over it. Okay.
That's fine.
So
okay,
whatever boyfriend I have.
I'm not kissing no guys. I'm not kissing no guys.
No, I would never
Roger,
ever ask you to do that.
Roger, how soon are you getting on a plane to Arizona, Roger? Why not this Christmas a surprise Christmas present? A surprise Christmas present to Sonia. You could jump on a plane the next couple of days and just show up. Why not?
Oh, that would be cool, dude.
Come
I
on,
have to get a
man up,
passport
dude.
though, right?
And put your money where your mouth is.
Right. Man up.
Put your money where your mouth is. Right on her crotch.
Oh, would you let me stay at your house?
Oh my God.
Oh, arr.
Wait,
Captain
I think we were laughing
Sinclair.
about different things right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeffy.
No, I would totally. I wouldn't have to get on a plane to go to Roger's house because I'll just do that any fucking way.
Jolly Roger Hansen. Good old Jolly
He already
Roger.
knows. See, Raj, he's missed the whole, like, I don't know, couple of months we've been going on or whatever, to where he doesn't even know
You've
our
been going out now for a couple
your
months.
house
I had no
anyway.
idea. I thought it was just like
out.
a new romance, not something that's been. Like,
Oh,
so
she is.
how's the cyber sex? How's the cyber sex?
Oh, we don't do that. We don't.
We don't do that.
That's everybody
No,
was talking.
because that's
Everybody,
not-
that's everybody's been talking about. Like that's rumor
That's
has
not
it.
right. That's not right, Jeff.
the
Okay,
Camera-
maybe you do
the
that
cameras,
sort of
your
thing or whatever
privacy,
you think is
sometimes you
right,
guys were
but me and
hot-
Raj, we're playing it
heavy
clean, okay?
hot and
We don't do that
heavy,
kind of
and,
shit, okay?
Just having
We're
some
into
technical malfunctions will live
Our love is
streaming.
pure.
Who's that
Pure and
CNN guy?
innocent.
Who's that
Is-
CNN
isn't
guy?
it,
And then
Raj?
they reinstated
Our
him.
love is pure.
He's like totally.
You ever watch that TV series Deadbeat?
No,
No.
is it? What's it about?
About this dude that freaking sees ghosts, but he has to be completely high as a freaking kite in order to see him. And like in the
Really, I gotta
very
check that out.
in the very first episode, he had to help a ghost go over to the other side by having sex with his freaking like 80-year-old wife.
Oh my god! Is
Right.
it an animation? I hope so.
No, it's an
That
actual
doesn't-
show.
That
Oh
doesn't
my god!
sound right.
That's messed
but,
up, man.
You know,
So he
I'm sure
took-
there's
he
all
took a-
kinds of weird things that happen, you know.
What year did it come
Took a
out?
bunch of came out in the early 2000.
Okay,
2010
it might be on,
maybe.
Maybe you can find it on archive.org then. Okay, all right, Deadbeat.
Hey,
He
Jeff,
took
you
a
were
bunch
talking about Jeffrey Toobin, right? Is that who you're
Yeah,
referring to?
Jeffrey Toobin. Oh my god,
Oof.
Jeffrey Two-Ball Kane, and then they reinstate the guy, like just nasty, like that, like that's those CNN's ethical standards right there on full display for people. Like Toobin he's damaged goods, he's compromised, but he's towing the party line, obviously. Or they wouldn't have
Jeffrey,
him
what
back.
you
And
didn't
he's
know
and
is
he's
that's how
Jewish too.
CNN does all
So
those
I mean,
calls.
hey, God, I mean, if you didn't bring him back after jerking off on camera, that would be anti-Semitism. So you're kind of obligated, you know, because they get.
What about Wiener?
Pretty
He
gross.
did that
Just
shit.
talk to who's that Schmengi or what's it, that Rabbi Schmengi who's your buddy there? Shmuley, yeah,
Mr.
Candace
Blood
Owens
Pup,
and
Pup,
yeah,
Pup,
Rabbi
Shmuley.
Shmuley. Just the guy's got like dark energy vibe. Just he's so there's just I wonder about it's Yeah, it's unfortunate. So, not that all Jewish people are that way, of course, because they're not. And we know if you look at the picture, most Zionists are not even Jewish. Many Jews, not Zionists. As far as Semites are concerned, just to repeat here, people tuned in over the years have heard this.
Propaganda.
Exactly. Oh,
Propaganda.
it's mind fuckery, like you call it Orwellian half truths or double think, I guess. But the most Semites not Jewish, and many Jews not Semitic. So why is say anti-Semitic? That's offensive to most Semites. It's so offensive the way they've usurped and
That's why
absconded
they
with
do
that
it.
term.
That's why it works so well as propaganda.
Exactly. It's been weaponized. I understand. It's a great way to shut down a conversation too.
Weaponized.
So speaking of
That's
shutting
a
down
series of
conversations.
T-shirts I have is weaponized.
Okay. Oh, speaking of T-shirts too.
TV's one of them.
Let's get some pirate Christmas merch cranked up there, Sonia. We have faith in you. Hashtag OSS 2024. I'm not sure. We'll talk more a little bit here behind the scenes, but we've got to.
Before you go though, you do have to run something by me because I'm going to help you on that. So, are you starting it on the 15th, like you said?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
in fact,
so-
there's some pictures of some kids that we helped out last year. It's Tracy Steele is her children.
Send that information like you did last year so I can get it set up and I'll do it alongside with you like we did last year.
Oh, right. Yeah, you did help out. Thank you. So, and now you got a little clearer sense. You can kind of amp it up a little more. And sure, anyone can run their own campaign. And one of the big things is just don't accept. Well, you can accept, but don't solicit donations. If people insist, then okay, fine. You don't stare a gift horse in the mouth. But during the
Right.
I mean, we appreciate donations anytime outside of the campaign period, sure, but the
I
campaign
have
itself.
no problem staring a gift horse in the mouth.
Well, no, you gotta. Well, let's not even go
That's
there.
a funny saying in the first place.
You don't. Yeah, it's like
supposed to
I
check
wonder.
its teeth.
Well, I mean,
I don't know. It's like
where
you're
else does
just.
the saying come from?
I don't
Well, you're
know.
supposed to check
But
its
seriously
teeth.
though, I mean, if the gift horse is full of shit, then what else are you supposed to do?
Dude,
I mean,
it doesn't
who wants
matter.
a bunch of horse crap?
First thing you do with any horse is you check their teeth.
And staring,
right?
How long does it
Okay.
take? How long does it take to check the horse's teeth?
Depends on the
Like
person.
days and months and years.
Yeah.
Staring
And then,
at a gift horse.
and then what do
finally
you
it's
do,
like,
Roger? After that, what do you do?
Then you masturbate.
Second.
You mount it, Sonia.
Really?
Just like,
That's so gross.
just
Oh,
yeah.
no.
You mount it.
That doesn't even
I
make
was gonna
sense.
say.
You take it. You take it over
my
to
gosh.
Tinder, and you mount it. You mount it. He's your trophy. Your hunter's your trophy. You're a trophy hunter.
I was trying to control myself. I mean, if you want to say mount it, go ahead. I
You're
was
a
just going to say
Tinder trophy
masturbate.
hunter. Mount it in the most creative way possible.
But you're supposed to check every horse's mouth that you own, dude, so that you can find out how well.
But come on, man. You don't spend like your entire life humming and hawing like shit or get off the pot. Oh, there's another English idiom that, gee, I don't know. Well, of course he's gonna shit or get off the pot. It's like, no. It's like,
Well, I mean,
let's
Jeff, people can
deconstruct.
do what they
Of
want.
course, you
okay?
look a gift horse in the
They want
mouth,
to
though.
spend
You
years,
have
they
to.
can.
What's sorry? Come again? But speaking of, how many times have you came, anyways, during the course of? Come again.
God, dude.
Oh
If she was young, that would have been a good question.
Yeah,
But, like
yeah.
that's kind of over and
is
done
that-
with. You know what
Oh,
I'm saying?
that's
Like,
so gross, you guys.
At that age, you don't think at her age that
Oh
she's
my
capable?
God.
well, she's not going to be able to count.
She's a cum crier, just like those little Jap chicks you were talking about earlier. She's a little cum
What
crier.
the fuck, Jappy? Are you kidding me?
You're a cum
Oh
crier.
my God.
You're
Okay.
you're a horrible little cum crier, and it's
come on,
really
seriously.
you.
Seriously,
Why
do you
we
really-
even bothered to spend any time with you here? I have no
How
idea.
could you take something so sacred and turn it into like a fucking joke? It doesn't even make sense.
Well, you're the one who brought. I'm just doing a callback to what you brought up earlier, talking
Oh,
about.
don't try and fucking turn shit around, dude. I got
No.
way too much experience with that.
That's the way comedy works. That's the way, and
Not
overstepping the
gonna
line.
happen, dude.
That's
Okay.
Not
overstepping.
gonna happen.
Overstepping the
Seriously,
line.
guys.
If you're not
Seriously.
crying, you're not doing something
Shut
right.
the fuck up.
You gotta
Well,
cry.
seriously, come on now.
How about that?
We want.
You don't want to do all that shit. Like, do you really want to have to hand your woman a tissue every time you turn around and look at the guilty complex?
But the
Like,
whole point, you don't have to hand nobody tissues. There's
Why
no
are they crying
tissue
in the
handing
first
necessary.
place? I don't understand.
That's what I'm
because
saying.
You don't get
Like,
it?
why do
You
they
don't get it,
cry?
Jeffy.
It's
No,
the
I'm
little
saying-
death. That's all.
Let
It's
me take you guys
the
back.
emotional.
I'm going to take you guys back here real quick, and I'm going to have to do this. Okay.
And we got to
So-
check out.
Okay. So I'm going to take you back to when you were younger. Okay. When you were younger and when you first found love, period, like the first time, did you not fucking cry?
No, I didn't.
Hmm.
Men don't
See
cry.
now.
We're pretty much
Raj,
we're centered
come
around
on.
our penis.
I'm not.
dude.
I get it, and I get it, and I get it.
no.
14
You're talking
million
about having
times
like a little
over.
crush, a little puppy love. Puppy love thing.
She's talking about like
maybe-
crying after
not just
sex.
having a crush, Jeff. It's actually being in love with somebody, like actually feeling that feeling for the first time. Is that not like a rush? Does it not like make you want to cry?
It's kind of a woman thing,
maybe,
I think.
Maybe not cried. Okay,
it's a
but
girly thing.
most girls do.
It's
Most girls do
it's
cry.
girly. It's totally girly.
It
But anyways,
is. It is
the
girly.
emotional.
I felt the
Look,
warm,
men.
fuzzy feeling.
Men have, of course,
Come on, you
emotions
guys.
and
Come on.
le
I'm not
petit-
fucking retarded, and I
le
know that
petit
girls
more.
are not different from guys,
Well,
so it's not even
the
like
warm,
that.
fuzzy
You can't
feeling
even
is
play
that
that on
good?
me.
Is the
What are you
warm,
talking about? You're not
fuzzy-
fucking retarded. People need loving too. Why wouldn't you fuck retarded?
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
You should
Right.
like
Well,
to try to
retarded people probably would cry more, actually.
Well, so maybe
Yeah.
then, so you are. So
Actually, the more you cried, the more retarded you
you'd
probably
like
are.
to be. You wish you were.
No.
You wish you were fucking retarded. You just.
No, I mean,
Well,
You wish
It
you
would be
were
nicer.
retarded.
It would be easier to fucking deal with this shit.
look, guys, retarded people
You
have
just stem it
sex
up to
too.
being retarded.
It's just a family
What-
member
Brought it
like
up.
that.
Do you know what the word means? Do you know what the word actually means? Retard.
It means retarded.
Well, what? Yeah, but what does it really
Right.
mean? People see we use these these
Retardation.
terms, these linguistic,
Nice save, Jeff.
these words that are put together that
Really?
letters that
So you
are
guys don't know
organized
what
in a
I'm talking
way
about. You
meant
guys have
to
no fucking. You
convey
guys
a
are going
certain
to deny
idea.
right here on air.
It's
You're going
French.
to deny
En français.
that you felt this feeling of
Late.
love for the first time in your life ever,
Sonia,
and it didn't make you want to fucking weep.
Sonia, you're late again. You're acting. You're showing up. You're
Really,
late.
I'm acting
again.
what?
It's
I'm
actually
acting
a
what?
Latin.
Who I am?
No,
It's actually a
late.
Latin verb.
En retard means late in French.
It's actually a Latin verb, retardar.
Yeah.
Meaning-
And tardy.
Jeffy.
You ever heard of tardy?
Jeffy.
You know tardy?
Fuck off, dude. Fuck off.
It means hinder or slow down.
Oh, look, there's Mark Passio, Science and Natural Law. Right there. Speak of the devil. Speak of the
That was a
devil.
good one.
Oh, well, we do have to F off right now. No, I'm not a big fan of dropping a lot of F-bombs throughout the course of the show, nor getting too
That was
retarded
great.
when it comes to the flow of conversation. But Sonia,
Seriously though, you guys both know what I'm talking about. So you can deny it all you want. It's still evident
men
in
are
human
just
history.
not as deeply emotional.
Men
and
are
that
the same.
we're not
There's no difference.
crybabies.
I never cried.
we
They're
get
stronger, yeah, but there's no
wounded.
difference. We
We
all
might
have the
be
same heart. We
wounded.
all have the
Feel
same heart.
pain and
Yeah,
I
emotion.
put my
We
hands
all have the same
together, I
heart.
threw them up in the air, and I said, "Thank you, God," because I finally got laid. Okay, but I had never in my life ever freaking
Losing your virginity?
being grateful.
I'm interested,
Like,
Roger.
you know why? You
Behind
know
the
why guys
scenes,
freaking,
get a room.
Do you know why guys freaking put their hands on a woman's head when they're getting a blowjob? Because if they aren't, they're freaking clapping.
It's called skull fuck. It's called skull
stupid,
fucking,
Roger.
man.
Roger, you're not giving me anything to work with here, okay?
I'm just telling you, that's the way guys think. Like, if we're not holding your head, we're freaking clapping our hands.
Well,
And
that's
cool. And what's your point with that? I don't get it.
It's like
What
guys
is that? How does that relate to the whole
guys do
intimate
not cry,
feeling
dude. Guys
about
do
being
not
loved
cry.
by another person?
Well, being loved is one thing. I'm talking about having sex.
You
Okay,
and
Well, I was
Sonia,
talking about being
and
in
this is
love
why
for the
you and
first time.
Sonia need to take this behind the scenes and on a
Do you know
more
what this? Do
one-on-one
you know what this really reminds me of,
intimate
though? It reminds
basis.
me of that movie Crybaby.
Never seen it, although Deadbeat sounds
Me neither.
interesting in a kind of
Crybaby had what's his name off 21 Jump Street on there. The dude that
You guys are
played
jaded,
Captain.
dude. You guys are jaded.
What was his name
You
off
guys
of
are
the
jaded.
pirate show?
If you're gonna deny
Oh.
that
Pump Up
first
the
stuff- if
Volume?
you're gonna deny that like first intimate stuff, then fucking I don't even know if there's any hope for you. For
What's
seriously.
the name of
We're
that?
too old
What's
for
the name of
that
that?
anyways
What's
now,
the name
so
of that pirate
we're
movie
kind of
that came out?
Right. And so there's where the inner child comes in. Duh. You can't be too old for that. You can't deny that part of yourself because it is this part of yourself, regardless of whether you think this or that or whether somebody holds somebody's head or what the fuck ever.
Well, Roger brought that nonsense up. Why are we why are you wanting to persist with this line of conversation in the first place?
Well, I brought it up.
It's an ongoing
She loves us dirty boys. She loves
virtual
us
kind
dirty
of romance digital saga.
I love you, Roger, and I'm sure that you're saying something very valuable, and I would love to hear that. And what did you say?
Yeah.
Point it out now. No, tell me now. No, come on.
I said you
Throw it out.
Get on that airplane.
You love it. See,
Yeah.
What'd you say?
that's what
Oh,
it
I
is
love-
between men
I
and
think-
women. Okay, women
Yeah.
love the emotional stuff, but when men talk dirty and act dirty, freaking women's ears get real close to the microphone. Speak.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's where
apparently women
I actually differ
can
with
be
that.
more
It's
nasty
if
than
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
saying it's
start
just
that
like
kind of
there's
shit,
a
I'm like, whatever,
behavior
bro.
there's a behavior between men and women that naturally take place. Like you're talking about natural law.
Yes,
There's a
there is.
natural
Yeah, like
there's a
making
natural
love.
thing.
That's naturally takes place. Yeah.
All right, and we naturally
you
once
talking
again
about?
for the 15th million umpteenth time need to wind things down here so that I can feed these cats that are scratching the hell out of my legs.
He said 15th million umpteenth time.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Just to
Jeff.
kind of drive
Whatever,
drive
dude. You're tripping.
Don't fall asleep. Those cats are gonna eat you
Tripping
alive, dude.
balls.
Your fucking show, dude.
Tripping
They're gonna
balls.
they're gonna eat you while
Tripping
you're
balls, for
asleep.
sure.
If you don't
Actually,
feed
with
'em.
every F-bomb outside of the one complimentary item that we allow here. Remember, it's
Yes,
10 it's
yes,
10
Elon, yes.
doubloons.
On a pirate ship, yeah.
10
Okay.
doubloons to the potty mouth swear jar. You're aware of that, right, Sonia? Or were you not?
She's in so much trouble.
No,
She's
I'm
in
not. I'm not
she's
aware
in
of that. You know why?
denial.
Because there's no fucking sign up there. There was no immediate warning
There is
about the
now.
whole thing. So
Well,
no,
Roger,
I'm
you've
not
known
aware
about
of that.
this. It's a long-standing
Yeah.
policy. It's
You're in so much debt. Your F jar.
oh,
is, like,
totally. Yeah,
just
you're
completely
Right.
flowed
Thank
over
you.
the top.
Thank you, Roger.
yeah.
Thank you, Roger.
Yeah.
I'm just
So ship's articles.
He'd be a rich man if he could pay up on those
10
doubloons. sometimes.
doubloons. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
for
Vinny.
himself, to himself.
Thank you, Vinny from Brooklyn. Sonia Galactic. And we'll get her in the mute out right now, of course. Well, there's a whole number of people
These
that
fucking guys.
whole number of people that did join us from the get-go, of course. Roger's still with us as well, too, out of West Frankfort, Illinois. Everyone out there who's listening live in real live time, and you lurkers, don't be afraid to sign in. There's quite a few of them we're noticing here. They just don't take the time, make the effort to sign in, and a lot of folks that check out the show that we have to offer after it's added to the archived end of things. You know what, Vinny? Besides yourself, there's a number of people we're noticing over in Odyssey now that are actually they're mirroring our content as well. And these folks actually have some pretty, some serious gravitas as far as their subscribership base is concerned. So we appreciate that, and we'll give them a shout out here coming up over the course of the Operation Secret Santa 2024 campaign. 4 days hence, folks, is what we're looking at. That's right. 4 days from this evening, we're going to be making all that Christmas magic happen. got to have that Linux machine up and running. Had it in demo mode, of course. So things are certainly moving in the right direction. Pirate One Radio at protonmail.com is how you reach us with either your PayPal donations, what you'd like to contribute to the campaign, the Christmas fund, end of the operation, or if you have show suggestions or guest ideas in mind. So it's been a wild and woolly ride here throughout the course of things. This go around, show segment number 301 of World Pirate Radio News. Hopefully we've covered enough, and not sure if we've necessarily covered it all, but definitely hit on a whole wide range of talking points. So having said all this, on behalf of Captain Long John Sinclair, the rest of the crew down here in Skullport Harbor, until we meet again, BB's high often, all too intrepid digital seas, I'm your host as always, the show's chief communications officer, Jaffe Ryder, reminding you, ear to the ground, eyes to the sky. Tally ho.